What is happening? And welcome to your Thursday Night Delight. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Sean the Right Way, and joining me, as always, is my trusty sidekick, Brent from Brent's Bricks. And tonight we have a very, very special guest, Josh from Josh Build Stuff, joins us tonight because collectively we are... Now, Josh, this is where we ride it out. If you want to just keep it rolling, we can just groove out. We pause, dramatic effect.
Do something like this.
Yeah. Ooh, a little show off, a little flex. I like how we all had a handy.
You got to fan them out.
Here's one of
all five yet.
here's one of Josh's favorite current sets, I think. Right here, we got one of those.
I'm putting sweaty fingerprints all over these things right now.
But what are we?
Are you asking me?
You tell me.
We are
the guest.
I mean, I don't usually say it, but usually, you know.
A couple of brickheads.
There it is.
Fun.
Josh, you made it to the extended music, man. Congrats. This is our favorite part.
I'm honored.
Usually, I feel like people are looking at us like, okay, how long is this gonna go?
Hey, man. Other people just stall. You know, we dance. That's what we do. So, and run it. All right. Welcome to a couple of brickheads. Josh, so good to see you. We can lose the shades. Who are we?
I'm so glad we all had them.
AKA the dad pod, as Josh called it earlier.
Yeah.
Like, with Max not here, it's a solid dad pod. Throwing it together.
Yeah, we don't need that youngin' cramping our style. I'm kidding, Max. Max is here in spirit. I put him in the thumbnail.
We miss you, Max. Max either had a choice. It's like he could do a couple of brickheads or be in Hawaii.
Well, he's got collegiate sports obligations, so I don't blame him.
I'll be honest. If someone gave me the choice to be in Hawaii or here, I would have chosen Hawaii. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, I don't blame you. Oh yeah.
I wonder what the time is there, though. Like, could you picture yourself like on the beach, flipping open, at least doing like a
probably
little iPhone stream with us? I think might do that.
Yeah, he's playing a game right now. Like, he literally told me he had a ball game like during the show, so it's probably like evening-ish.
No excuse, dude. Dugout.
So.
You know what I mean? He's a pitcher.
Right,
So,
he might not even be throwing. He's chilling in the bullpen, like, let me see what they're talking about.
So, you know, if he's not there, if he's not actively pitching, they do like phone sneaks, man. Don't try to act like they don't, So.
Oh yeah, you got to catch up on your favorite TV show somehow.
We got the chat coming in. Josh wants to maybe hear it live. Here they come. We got the Girth Gang joining the crew here. Yeah.
Who's in here? Let me take a look at you guys.
Josh, pay attention to the lyrics. They're real complex.
So damn girthy.
Kids screaming in the background. Yeah, authenticity. Girth Gang, what up? Oh, there he is. Look, see? So Max can make the chat, but he can't make the show. All right. Well.
Oh, there he is. I was gonna say I didn't see
Max, what up, man?
Good to meet you.
So he probably isn't. He probably literally is exactly how we just said, in the bullpen. He's like, all right, I'm not throwing this game, so I'm just chilling.
Max, give us a little play-by-play. Are you guys up? Are you down?
Yeah, what's going on?
Are you done with the game? Have you explored Lego on the island? Here we go. In between games. All right. So still inappropriate to join the.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
He's got a double header going on out there today. All right.
At least tell me you got the dub. At least tell me you got a couple Ks. No, that's awesome, Max. We're happy for you. And Raj with the virtual group hug. Guys, we appreciate you joining. Josh, once again, thanks so much. We set this up a little while ago. And we originally were going to do it earlier, but then you had this last minute trip that you went on that's been sweeping the Lego YouTube community by storm. A lot of content coming out of you hanging out. It was like the damn Avengers with everybody.
I'm not throwing around the word of the Lego Avengers, the Lego YouTube Avengers. That's the term.
You don't have to throw it. I just did it, dude.
That's okay. I'll be Hawkeye. That's fine. The rest of them can be the real guys.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I'd be like the thug that gets like dropped in the first scene, like that guy. Be like, or the new recruit. I couldn't be a thug. I'd be a good guy, but I'd be like the new recruit with like one special skill.
You could just be that. You could be the. You could be the happy, like the guy behind the scenes, like this. Whatever his role is. You know what I mean?
He would make a good happy. I like him too.
Yeah.
You're talking about chef there. You know what I mean?
I think undoubtedly, like Ryan he's Tony Stark, like he just is. You know, I mean,
Have you
maybe
met Ryan
Captain
in person?
Maybe Captain America. Well, I
That
know I haven't
dude
met him in
does
person.
not have Tony Stark energy.
No, well, I mean, his online
Ryan, you're welcome to
persona.
hop in the chat and correct me, but while he's not here, he does not have Tony Stark energy, man.
I think some would say like his online persona might lead people to think he's like Tony Stark energy, but you know,
Nah, meet him
maybe-
in person. That's a different story.
maybe he's more of a cap.
I didn't even plan on doing this, Josh. I promise you, this isn't a big like assault about the trip, but like, can you give us like a little bit of behind the scenes? Like, it was Claire's birthday. Like, did it all come together last minute? Was it very unplanned? Was it like, how did that all come together?
For me, it was 100% last minute. I think when we were all talking about me coming on here, I had not yet planned that trip
Right.
or heard anything.
And that was in
about it.
Feb at some point, right? Because
Yeah,
you said let's
I
push
only
it. Yeah.
said like maybe second week of March because I was like, there's gonna be a lot of new sets coming out March 1st. Like I'm probably gonna be busy trying to make like videos and stuff out that like. But then that trip came up, and me and Shy Time is My Time, who just popped in the chat. What up, Shy? We're both
What up?
also dads. He's also on the West Coast from LA.
Lego
Yeah,
Dad's
Josh
showing.
builds stuff.
Lego
And shout
Dad's
out to
showing
Shy.
out.
Yeah,
Hey,
shout out to
and Snow Lena.
and not to interrupt, but Shy, the programming note, Shy is joining us next week. We're very excited. So we're gonna have the Cali Brick Click, couple of brick heads, combo again. We had it with Claire too, so this is good.
Shy can ride my coattails. I'm okay with that.
By the way, when I was talking with Shy in the DMs, he's like, "You realize I live like whatever it was, Shy, like a couple of exits up from." I had no. Well, LA's so big, so when you say you both live in LA, that could mean a lot of things. He's like, "No, I'm over here. I'm not going to be specific." I'm like, "Oh, you're that close." Okay, I didn't realize he was that close.
Yeah.
Small world, as they say. So
No, but for Shy and I, that was a very last minute trip. We happened to be chatting with like Claire and Sands talking about something, and she was like, "Oh, we're going to Orlando like next week," and she's like, "Oh, and the Sauruses they like rearranged their schedule. They're gonna happen to be there too, and Sands has family in the area. They're like, you guys should come too." And I'm like, "There's no way we can come. Like both of us have 2 kids, we got obligations and stuff." And so I was like, "I'll ask my wife." And I did, and she was like, "You can go. You can do whatever you want." And then Shy's wife said the same thing. I was messaging him, and I was like, "Okay, if you go, I'll go." And it's like they said they had an extra space in the Airbnb, and so like a week later, I was booking tickets to Orlando because I found cheap flights on Southwest, bought some Disney tickets, and met Ryan for the first time, met Holly for the first time. I'd met the Sauruses before because they also live in Austin, but I never see them locally. We have to travel to different parts of the country to actually see them. But that was a fun, weird whirlwind of a trip.
that was wild. Yeah, because in talking with Shy, and we'll get into it more with him, but he's like, "Yeah, I didn't expect it to kind of." I don't know if he said blow up. I don't want to paraphrase too much, but like the way it did or whatever. And I'm like, as soon as I saw the first picture, whatever it was, whoever dropped it on Insta, I'm like, we got to see more of this. Like, because look, whether you call it fans or friends or whatever, because I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of you guys now. The one thing I'll say, and I'm curious to hear, because you just said you met a lot of folks for the first time. Was everybody pretty much like you expected? I mean, I guess people will turn some things up to a 10 when there's a camera on, and there's a bit of that. And you don't have to name names, but in general, when you meet other YouTubers, are they pretty much how they come across on TV? A lot of differences, little differences? Because everybody's been pretty authentic with us here, I feel like.
It's a weird thing, but I think it was Shy that had said it to me first. He was like, when other people make content in the same space that you do, it's like you have a different level of trust for them. Like they're not just a name in the chat. No offense to all the random names in the chat, but it's like there's a face to the name, and like I've chatted with all these people in other live streams and stuff, and like I've had a chance to talk to these people, but I just hadn't met a lot of them in real life. Like I'd met like Claire and Sans and Shy and Ninja, the Cali Brick Click crew, like out in California when I went an impromptu trip to Disneyland last September. I don't do these impromptu trips that often. Obviously it sounds like I do because I've done 2 of them in the last like 6 months. But that was my first time in Disneyland. I'm thrilled about that. We can talk about that.
That's your first time. No, you're a Disney guy, and we're definitely going to get into that. But that was your first time literally at Disneyland. You've been a world goer previous?
Yeah, because I grew up in South Florida. I was 3 hours south of
Whereabouts?
Disney World my whole life. Coral Springs, Coconut Creek area.
Born in
North
Hollywood.
Florida.
That's wild.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because Justin, Just Too Good, not to dox him, but literally I was chatting with him because I met him for the first time too. And he's like, oh yeah, I was in Coral Springs. He's like, I went to Coral Springs High. And I'm like, I went to Coral Springs Charter, like a high school, like down the street from his high school.
That's awesome.
And it's like, what a weird small world. But like they're in the general Orlando area. So like Justin came up too, Just Too Good, nicest dude I've ever met. You'd never know it because it's like this dude is big on the Lego YouTube space, but like
Right.
Sure.
that dude is polite and friendly and like jovial and makes you feel welcome. Like everyone in the Lego community should meet Justin from Just Too Good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe I get. And it's funny because you end up hearing that about a lot of like the most successful YouTubers is like they're actually super chill and super nice, and it's not like there's a little bit of that going on. Obviously, you got to put on a certain,
Yeah.
I don't know if character or lens makes sense. There's a little bit of that going on, right? But it just seems like the most successful ones are the most friendly, the most polite, and it's like that's how you get ahead. It's not by lying, cheating, stealing, backstabbing, and all that. It's kind of like the business world. A lot of people think. And there are some ruthless people, that's what I do. Not the ruthless part, but like in the business world, that think people get ahead by being a certain way. And it's like most of the time it's not the case, especially the tippy top. They're just solid dudes and dudettes, and I think that applies probably everywhere. So it's super cool.
I mean, and Snowlana asked it, and it's the same question you asked. Like, did Shy put on his vlog voice as soon as he saw a camera? Like, it's a weird thing. I don't vlog. Like, I'm more like, I'll do reviews and stuff. And I'll talk about a trip after the fact, but I'm not one to whip out my camera in the middle of a group of people. No offense to those who did, but like, there's a weird understanding when everyone else around you is kind of used to that world. And I like Claire had said it before. It's like when you hear like Holly, her voice goes from normal voice to like, oh, she's vlogging voice. And then like everyone kind of like goes into their own character, but more just like if you're talking about something in the background, it's like, okay, not to all of a sudden start just like saying offensive stuff. Not that we're all walking around just talking offensively about stuff, but it's like you all understand the vibe of what's going on when one person's vlogging.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny to think that like when a bunch of like Lego YouTubers, or not even Lego YouTubers, but just YouTubers in general, like they all get together and do this thing. It's like they're all like vlogging. They're all vlogging like on top of each other, and like you can almost like see someone's vlog through the background of somebody else's video, and it's like it's funny how that can like
or whatever. Like that's kind of like
where
everything's happening at once.
It was a weird environment in the sense of there were a couple of times where people were like, hey, we got all these people together, like let's make a video out of this. And a couple of those videos have already come out, but there was at least one. I don't know whose channel it was meant to go on or if it will ever go on, maybe Ryan's, but trying to do some kind of parody video of something. And it was me and Shy and Ross and Sans and Ryan at a table. And the problem is we all just want to one-up each other and being funny and having fun and getting the word in edgewise. And like, it's a part of improv where you should listen as much as you talk. And I'm not good at that. I love talking. It's why I make YouTube stuff.
The yes and thing, you mean?
Yeah, like yes.
I struggle with that too. Yes and. So in improv, Brent, when people are riffing, you're never supposed to like, you just go with it.
Right.
Like that's what that means. Like you don't say no, it's like this. You just keep building and building and building.
Right. Yeah.
So that devolved into chaos as you'd expect, but it was fun chaos. Like I'm not in it for the content of anyone else. I'm just in it to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you had a good time, and thanks for sharing a little behind the scenes on that. I know a lot of people thought it was cool that everybody got together like that, and man, even if there was opportunity, Brent's got how old is he now? How old is Henry now?
He's 2 months. 2 months. Yeah.
I almost said my son's name. Yeah, Hux is 9 months. There's no
going. Hey, Hux, Henry. 2 H's.
There you go.
The first time before we get past this topic, it was weird how I discovered it because I was watching one of Just Too Good's videos, and he was in a rush to just make some kind of news video. And he's like I gotta go because I got this something about a party. He's like, I'm throwing a party, and I was like, throwing a party? It's like, what kind of party is he? He's about to throw a college banger, or he's having people over? What's the occasion? And then all of a sudden, obviously everyone's posting things. I was like, oh, that's what's going on. Like a meeting of the minds / Lego YouTube Justice
The
League
Lego
ordeal.
the
So
Summit. Yeah.
yeah, you know.
So Josh, I don't know if you get out to shows or not, but Brent and I are kind of like, again, dependent. You know the schedule of dad life, obviously,
Oh
but
yeah,
especially with little, it's a little more complicated.
right.
A lot of littles there. But we're talking about Brick World and then Brick Fair, Virginia, the Chicago or Virginia one, and we're trying to put that together. Have you been to many of those shows? I'm kind of new to the whole thing. I've only been to Lego. I guess it's about 3 years now, so I haven't, and everything's been closed since I got into it. Have you been to those events? Are they cool? Do you see a lot of the same people there? What do you think? Are you thinking about going to either one of those, or?
Well, as far as I know, those can also be fun, but I'm like you. I haven't I'm not new to Lego per se, but like I'm new to the Lego community. Like I
Right.
started getting noticed, and like now I'm making friends in the Lego community. Shout out to my friend, my best friend Sans was in the chat a minute ago. He's my dude. But I've never been to a Lego convention. But this year I'm going to Chicago because I was like I can do like one big convention for like
Yeah.
4 days or so, block it out with the family, and the one that people were like, we're going to Chicago this year, and I was like, okay, that's the one I'll go to. So that's the one I picked. That's what I'm telling other people to go to. We
All right.
will all be there, and so that's another chance for us all to hang out. But like I'm telling people to come to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago as a city, much less
Me
as a
either.
Lego
Oh,
convention.
okay.
Yeah.
Strangely, because of my business travels and I do have family, I've been to Chicago a lot, so I'd definitely be going just for the Lego portion.
Right.
Now, Arlington or wherever the other show is, like I went to DC in middle school, like most people. Do you know what I mean? So like it would be a little more cool for like the tourism to go over there. But if everyone's going to Chicago, then that might be.
Yeah, I'm going for the people. I'm going for the friends. I will give a disclaimer. Like, there's a weird level of like you feel a connection with people that you meet online or watch online a lot, and it's not like
Stan's like, Stan's is saying, "I hate you." Thanks,
I know,
Stan.
that may mean
That's-
something different when
awesome.
Sans says
That's
it.
the most like Sans thing he could just pop in and say right now.
Yeah, Sans is just being a Sans character. That dude will not stop just saying really kind things to your face when you see him in person.
this is an
ask for a
interesting-
picture.
This is an interesting development. Sorry, you said Sans is your guy. You've known him forever. So this is interesting. Did you know that, Brent? I didn't know that you guys
No.
were longtime buds till now. Do a lot of people know that, or do you kind of have to know you to know that? Or it's
No,
not like
you
it's a
gotta know
secret,
me.
I guess. It's not like you hid it, but I didn't know that you guys were.
No,
I didn't
we
know
go
what
way
the
back.
connection was, but
I'm also being sarcastic. I've only met Sans in recent years as well,
got you. Okay,
but I love Sans.
I thought you were saying like childhood friends, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No,
We went to
No.
pre-K together.
You and Sans together, that must be like a fun time. Is it a duel of the funnies on that one? I mean, and then like you said, I mean, is that?
I don't want to quote Holly, but when I was leaving, she was like, "Oh, Sans can now be the funniest person here, and he also can't fight back in this environment because I'm the one with a microphone and he's just in a chat." Yeah, when Sans was in middle school, I was 28. That's probably accurate. There's a bit of an age gap there.
Nice. That's awesome.
Dude, Sans is like, I mean, I've pretty much known who he is.
Sans,
as
come on
long
the
as-
show. We need to talk to you too, man. I got a lot of. I think Sans would do great here because it's just a big freestyle.
Oh yeah,
I think
That's
he
what I
would
think.
too.
dude, he's
'Cause-
like,
'cause, you know-
he's getting swole. I just want to say that before he like leaves the chat.
Wow.
Sans,
Well,
Sans,
couple-
you look like
Sans.
you've been pumping iron, man.
Look at
Like,
that.
That's not a joke. Sans is very strong. You may have seen him and I arm
Dude.
wrestling. He's very
Yeah, I feel like he's like he's like low key shredded. Like you would look at him and not think that he is, and then
It's not
all-
that low key. You can go back to his older videos, and he's got some shirtless videos. He's got
Ooh.
that like 22.
Look at
No
it.
way,
We got Ryan
Shirt,
Vigor.
shirtless videos.
We got
What up,
Ryan
Ryan?
coming in. God, there's so many reveals tonight.
What's
I
up,
mean, look,
Ryan?
we had a script. We were going to talk about the Princess Peach reveal. This is much more interesting to me. This kind of stuff. Maybe this
Princess
is our lane, Josh. We'll talk like the more of the community side. Everybody and their brother reviews this. We're going to get into that, by the way, because I want to nerd out with you on a couple things, particularly Speed Champions, which we just caught the bug.
Oh my
I
god!
bought this Lamborghini was my first one, Josh. I don't know what out of nowhere. I don't know if there's a push going on from Lego,
I'm gonna cry.
or because I watch all you guys and you guys are all fired up about it.
Yeah.
But like many, I'm trying to streamline and I really can't. I've already gone down the rabbit hole. I'm like, all right, what's it going to take to find all the 21 sets? And do I need the 6 stud wide ones too? I've already done all that. And I'm like, I have one set. And I'm like, I need more of these. And I'm car guy as much as the average man, I would say. Like, I appreciate a fine vehicle, but I can't tell you the difference between a 69 Chevy and a 70. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm enjoying. I mean, I love the price point, and it's a cool, as Brent Brett and I call it, like the pointless buy at Target. You know, when you're tasked with going and getting formula again.
I wouldn't say pointless, but like the scratch
You know
the
what I
itch
mean.
buy. The scratch the itch buy.
Little itch scratcher, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You catch one on sale, well, 20% off. Toss it in the cart. No harm, no
Yeah.
foul. Look quick
Yeah.
build. Sit down and build it at once. I like it. I'm into it. I think I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm super anti-sticker, but this wasn't. I feel like I did good and came out all right. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
Stickers, stickers are the necessary evil with Speed Champions. But
Yeah.
other than that, everything you said is 100% true. And one of my favorite things about people actually watching some of my videos is that basically I just get to hear other people's perspectives on
Thanks,
like
Sans.
certain themes, like Speed Champions. Thanks, Sans. That's the Sans insight you only get from Sans. But
you.
when people actually
I
comment
hope
on my
everyone
videos,
knows what I meant by that. Yeah.
I'm sure. Like I see people, they're like, one, I hear that same sentiment where people are like, I got one Speed Champions, now I'm hooked, I want them all. Literally, Sans' roommate, Claire, Plastic Architect, who you had on.
Yeah.
I use the word roommate because she's been using the word roommate. They're clearly madly in love and they just don't want to admit it to the internet. But she literally just purchased all of the retired Speed Champions. Oh, wait. I don't think
She's
told
streaky
Sans
like that. Once she gets into something, she'll go to the backlog. I'm trying to go off that, dude. Brent, I drew a line in the sand. I got burned by the Sanctum right after I said I'm never buying old stuff again. And then they bought the Sanctum and they're like, no one for about what you paid for that one.
I mean, you got a
It's
good
way bigger. I
got a good deal, and some of those figs
I
though, are
know,
still going to
but-
retain their value. You know,
I know. Go on. Sorry. I'm trying not to go back. I don't know if you do that. Do you buy a bunch of, is there enough new stuff to where you're not going back in time very much on this stuff, or do you go back and buy it?
Me, I almost never buy older stuff, mostly because I can't afford it in terms of time or money. Like, I'll go to my local Bricks and Minifigs. Like, we got one in Austin.
Awesome.
It's not far from me. I try not to go there too often because every time I go there, I spend a couple $100 just like, oh, I missed out on this gift with purchase, or I see this old set or something. And like, so I try not to go with the old stuff, but like the Speed Champions, I think you guys said it like last week or the week before. It's a theme. If you're just going for the 8 wide cars, you can get all of them. And they all came out within the last couple of years. And it's like from this point on, they're like $20 a piece, at most $50 for a 2-pack. Like it's a line that you can follow from this point on and just have every single one. And I have every single one, and I love it.
yeah.
Because those 6 stud ones, they look kind of wonky to me anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
because I thought the Raptor would be, when I heard there was a Raptor, I'm like, no, I don't like that. And then I kept looking at them, and the single driver thing looked off to me, you know, and I was just like,
Yeah, I
right.
have.
oh yeah, I feel like we're in a good time. It's not too late. And like you said, I mean, I think worst case, some of them might be 30 or 40 that are a little harder to find or whatever, but it's not like Star Wars out of hand 2013, you know, Jabba's palace level on any of this stuff.
Right. Yeah, I have the 911.
Dude, Claire's coming in on speed chat. It's so weird. It's
you
like
go,
these
Claire.
waves. When we met with Claire, we were like on she still is. I'm not saying anyone isn't, but like we were on the Monkey Kid wave, and then all of a sudden I found Speed Champions. Now it's like, this is what they do, man. They get the hooks in. Can I
We're
say?
all enablers, man. We're all bad influences.
I
on
know.
Each other.
Look what's over Brent's shoulder. I sung the praises of Monkey Kid. He's got him now.
Dude, I
don't
got
have a
it.
single Monkey Kid yet.
You
Dude,
don't have
at least
any.
one, man.
No.
You got to
I'd
get
love to hear
one.
your review of like the food. Get at least a food truck, man. You'd have fun with that.
Hey, I
They
could
look
Wacky that's
great.
not.
I could sell you on the
some
food
wacky
truck.
that's not out of hand, you know, like.
Well, the food
Okay,
truck is like
they're saying
disappeared
something.
off of Lego.com, but it's still on Amazon, so could be your last chance to get one of the better sets. Just saying, it's pretty cool.
If you're looking for a banger that's not like ridiculously priced, the food trucks I think are going to be an all-time classic. You know,
Right.
Just depends on.
That one looks cool. I got through a couple episodes of the Amazon series. I didn't make it through them all. I am like the worst case scenario for a Lego collector. Like I have a very addictive collector personality, and
Same.
I
Yeah.
want a lot of stuff. And so certain themes I just I just stay away from 'em. And the kid's one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, same with the speed champs thing. And the other thing is sometimes I'll get into them and I'll get like whatever, 3 or 4 of something, and then I get out of it. And like that's cool because when the time comes I can move on from that. I've had my run. Very few of them have been very sticky, but the one that'll never end. And you can see we're represented here. We've talked about it. And Josh, when I think one of the first times you at least commented on our stream was when we were talking about Disney. You're like, "Whoa, and you guys you're into Disney?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, we got to have you on." So we'll segue. We're pros here. Disney, dude, that's the one that won't go away, particularly anything to do with parks. I will anything. I don't care if it's the worst, whatever the worst attraction is in your mind, I would buy the Lego version of it.
I got good news for you. There's no bad attraction in my mind. You want to hear about bad Disney attractions? You talk to Sans, because I took him to Disneyland and we rode all the classic dark rides and
Hated 'em?
everything. Those boys can complain. I mean, they love it in their hearts, but like it's cool to complain about stuff in real life. But I'm with you, and you guys had reached out to me a while ago, and I didn't mean to ignore it or neglect it or whatever.
No,
I was like,
no,
"Oh, I
dude.
might just be a
It was
little
like our
busy."
second show. You're like, let me see what's going on.
Yeah,
we started with the top, baby. We didn't stop. We're just like, hey, we want this is who we want. We knew everyone was super cool. We're like, hey, listen, we have no follower. We still barely do, but we're moving a little bit. But go on.
I'd hardly call myself the top, but you guys have reached out. I was like, okay, cool, I'll check them out. And then like I'm a serial lurker, as some people will know, and so like I might have been lurking at some point, and you mentioned like you used to work at Disneyland, and I'm like, okay. And then you're like, I'm all about Disney parks, and if they make anything Disney parks related, you were like, that's what you're about. And that's always what I'm about. Like Disney movies, sure, that was my childhood, but like going to Disney World was every single birthday growing up, and like anything Disney related was like that was my jam. Like I want ride vehicles. Like Funko Pops never interest me unless it's like the Doom Buggy of a ride vehicle or the Splash Mountain ride vehicle. Like
They're all right there, dude. All of them.
It's not surprising. And so like same Lego Disney Train, like Lego Disney Castle, the rumored Lego Haunted Mansion set, which will be probably small scale, like the little Disney Castle or whatever. But I'm exactly the same as you, Sean, where I'm like, I want anything parks related, which is not always that easy to find.
So I'm not super experienced. Like I've been to Disney World twice when I was little, and I've only been to like the downtown district part of Disneyland. But wouldn't it be amazing? Because that big creator roller coaster that was like $380. If they made a Disney ride version of that, I mean, I'm sure that's like something that you guys would like. I mean, be an instant purchase, like day one, waiting in line in the morning. So I'm not as like familiar with the ride, so I don't know like exactly which one they would make. But if they made some kind of giant roller coaster in that, like, and we've talked about some people online that like have like a Lego City, but it's like based off of Disney. And I mean, that would just be like, I could see people buying 2 of them and making a crazy mock and all that good stuff. So I feel like there's some potential there for sure.
There's so much potential, and yet it's still really hard to try to decide like what attraction would make a good like Disney like Lego set.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, like a lot of rides they're inside, or they're dark rides, or like the exterior is okay. Like the Haunted Mansion has a great exterior, the one in Florida or the one in California. Like that's a great candidate for an exterior. Obviously, castles are great for exteriors, but like a lot of them, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, that kind of thing, it's hard to be like, this is going to be a Lego set unless they just go the diorama route, which is probably the way to go. And with like the Jurassic Park stuff that we're getting, that is honestly, it gives me some small glimmer of hope that like, Lego is willing to produce dioramas that are just framed in a bunch of black tiles.
Right.
That could work for more Disney stuff.
Right, and even with the Star Wars stuff coming out, like the Dagobah, like that's the training on Dagobah or whatever that one's gonna be called. That one I'm super excited for, because I remember buying 2 Yoda's huts. I still have one sealed, and I was like, oh man, like, and I have made like 2 small mocks in my life. I mostly am collecting a little bit kind of getting back into the Lego game, but that's besides the point. I wanted to build a Dagobah Mock, and then like they announced that, I'm like, all right, perfect. I don't have to mess with that. I'll just buy the set. So, and yeah, all these other ones, and I think I kind of have in the notes about like some of the other ones that are rumored to be coming out, like the trash compactor and the trench run, kind of being those tiled off, and then like have those the printed quote tiles on the front. So definitely excited to see those. That Jurassic Park, Sean's been super excited about that Jurassic Park one. Like he's he's ramped up over that one for sure.
I think I'm the same. If that was a play set and it was just like, here's a Jeep and a T-Rex, I'd be like,
Right.
okay, that's pretty cool. But like,
Yeah.
they put it on a frame, they put a little track there, they put an upside down extra Jeep there, some of the like fence pieces, and I'm like, never mind, I'm in. That's my childhood again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The nostalgia is it's a powerful drug. I'm sure Sean's tending to some dad needs, just like we all are.
I assume
Dude,
that my kid will barge in a few minutes.
dude,
I'm sure.
last week I had to leave for like 10 minutes because one of, not the biggest poo that my kids made so far, but it was like a go in the bathtub, hose him off. Dude.
Have we reached the kid poo segment of the?
Yeah,
we're still talking about Haunted Mansion stuff.
talking
we can
about-
transition to poos.
Sean, you're
muted,
muted.
Sean.
Yeah, you have muted yourself.
I missed
They'll
part of the
figure it
thing
out.
I
There he is.
teed you up on. So quickly, if you already did it, I apologize. But what set do you want the most, and what set do you think they'll make next if they do? Because I'm a little bit concerned because the train did not sell well.
The train didn't sell well.
No, didn't
Maybe I
do
just
well.
have
Mickey and Minnie did not
nostalgia
do
glasses
well.
on.
Well, I mean, it's high now because it's retired, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't do well just based on some conversations I've had. I don't have it factual. Lego doesn't release their numbers, obviously, but
Well, I mean, we talked about this for a brief second, but like the weird thing about Disney parks related stuff is it could be a decent exterior facade, like a Haunted Mansion kind of thing. And if we are getting a small Haunted Mansion, like that makes a lot of sense. Either Disneyland or Disney World, Haunted Mansion exterior, great choice. And I've seen that mock. I think it's the one that you're talking about, Will. Brixie built it. It's like a decent size looking Haunted Mansion. And I was like, that's one I would build for sure because I grew up with the Florida Mansion. But like, there's a lot of other classic Disney rides that are classic, but they're also mostly interior rides. And I think they'd have to be dioramas, like Haunted Mansion interior scenes, or like Pirates of the Caribbean or Jungle Cruise. Like that would have to be a diorama type scene, like maybe a little ride vehicle, some kind of environment going on outside of that. But like, it's hard to do. Like this is a Lego set that's like all encompassing of the Disney ride itself, right?
so San's saying he thought it did well. Shy saying it didn't, and Shy worked at Lego, correct? And I've talked to a few, and
Yeah,
this might be like
that's the one who knows.
anecdotally, but people, that's kind of where I got it. Like just general vibe, looking at things. It kind of came out, and no one talked about it, and then like people started talking about it when it was retiring. And I know that happens with a lot of sets, so it's hard, but
Yeah.
people complain about the price point. Like I get it. I'm just saying, like, it didn't do. How about this? It didn't do Disney Castle well, and I know that's a high bar, but it didn't. I feel like it didn't even do half of that, and I don't.
Yeah.
It's a feel thing. I don't.
I feel like if they
can't
would have,
quantify, but
I feel like-
just when I say it didn't do well, like I don't know how to like the mini castle, right? That's a hit.
Did
That
that do
thing, and
well?
I know
Dude,
it's a different
that
price
thing
point,
is-
different world, but that thing's
thing is
never been back in stock.
scorching hot,
Right.
like ridiculous.
So
I feel like maybe with that,
I think
with
Haunted
that
Mansion
Disney
though
Castle-
is a layup real quick. Brent, sorry, the Haunted
you're good.
Mansion. I feel like the Disneyland one would be much easier to execute. The question is, would they have a ride, sort of a ride component? Would people be disappointed if there's no Doom Buggy play feature, or would they be cool with just having
I think
the house kind of like that? But then people say, well, they just made the haunted house, so they might not. So I don't know if they're going to go that direction. I think like a Death Star style build with nothing going on of Space Mountain would be cool. I want any of it, dude. Like whatever they'll give us. Like quite frankly,
you're getting hopeful, which I am too, but it's like one niche too deep. Like I think exterior of Haunted Mansion that could sell, but then they're like, oh well, we want to incorporate some small ride elements and stuff. And like unless they make it like a big like $250 set like the actual haunted house set. Like, they're not going to give us a bunch of features and stuff. And I hate to say it, but it's like, I guess, like, at some point we just got to be happy with what we get, and like whatever they give us Disney Parks related, I'll be happy with.
Yeah, and my origin story, Josh, with the whole thing is, was it 18 or 19? The year, I believe this train set dropped a summer one year, 19 maybe. And that Black Friday, that was the Black Friday promo, you know, because it was on my radar. And then it was 25-ish% off only a couple months after it came out. That's kind of weird for them to do. So that was my first indication. And for me to get in the game, I think $330, I think I got it for whatever, $280 or whatever it was. I was like, I felt better sub 3 on that, but over 3 felt weird, especially because for me, it was like, I didn't have the castle at that point either. So it's like, well, 20 more bucks. And so that's why I say I didn't think it sold well. And then again, informally tracking it, I just don't feel like it did what they wanted to. And by the way, that might explain why it's been 3 years since we've had a park set too. If this thing was gangbusters, they'd be right back with another one. I think, even though they take a few years to develop. Sans just Small World set. I mean, it would. I've seen that a couple times here in the chat. I just feel like it would just be so complex. I mean, a diorama maybe, but to do the ride and like, what countries do you pick? Is there going to be hurt feelings there?
Just pick the end scene. Everyone's wearing white. No one's offended there.
There you go. I just mean what countries are represented. You know, like there'll be a whole getting the politics into play. But specifically, you want a niche of a niche. Specifically, I like the ride vehicles.
Me too.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that's why any of the Funkos that have that, it's the only Funkos I collect, unless it's a park character. Like I got the Dapper Dans and that level of stuff, but I don't go too far.
I see Madame Leota back there.
She's chilling. Yeah, I need to update.
I have a couple of the other Haunted Mansion characters. The Hitchhiking Ghosts I got, like the Mummy I got randomly, who wasn't there in Florida. I didn't point it out to anyone because no one would be like, "Where was the Mummy in the Haunted Mansion?" But I was like, "Where was the Mummy in the Haunted Mansion?" It wasn't there.
Yeah, I drew the line when Haunted Mansion started having like
there's a lot.
Six of the sidebar. Yeah, you know, the Hitchhikers, I've got some of those, and then I kind of drew the line and I was like, you know what, if I'm going to go into, because again, my rule was collecting rules, right? You know how those go. It's got to have a ride vehicle. But then I saw that they made a hat box and I was like, I need that glow in the dark. So that's kind of like my, I guess, prized possession on that line is the hat box, glow in the dark, whatever it is, whatever it's worth now. And then I did get I got the teacup there too with drawing a blank, Cheshire. So that's a pretty high end one too. But yeah, man, like I wish they would do more stuff like that, but I understand like it's not for everyone and the prices are going to be insane. But I just feel like some things like Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, like a lot of people have had a good experience. Certainly as many people that have had a good experience with Real Madrid, the stadium, you know, like
what if they just do like the big like ball thing at Epcot and it's like the Death Star and it's just like
dude, Epcot ball seems like a slam. It seems like a slam dunk, right? Spaceship Earth, that's kind of a slam dunk.
I mean they could do a small version, but
that's the problem. Do you just do the exterior facade and you go, well, this is boring. It's just a bunch of triangles
right
on a ball. Or you try to
do the interior, though.
But then in the interior, it just has to be a diorama. And again, you go, what scene do you pick? And I forced my my group of people that we were with, I forced them to go on Spaceship Earth because that's maybe my all-time favorite ride of all time. But I love animatronics and like
there's a lot of them
scenes on that. And like I would be a set dresser in my previous life, so like I love all the details in the background of every single scene. But I've always loved Spaceship Earth, even though the ride, it's half a ride right now because there's nothing in the second half of the entire ride. But like that as a Lego set, it's like, do you build a diorama? And then it's like, what's the diorama of? Because you go through like the ancient Egypt, and you go through Rome, and you go through like Gutenberg's printing press, and you go through like a bunch of times in history, and that's really hard to do in a Lego set. And there's been sets for it before, and it's like, it just seems impossible to do from Lego's perspective.
Could you see it as though any castle build of that, you could see that? Like
I
throw
would-
Figment
sure.
in there, that thing would just be immediate sellout. Figment
I mean,
standing
if you
next
throw
to
Figment anywhere. I also took everyone on Journey into Imagination. This was also Epcot was like the second.
what were
day
the
we
reviews?
there.
Was what had Sands feel about that one?
It was a bunch of jokes. Like it was it's
Claire's got an idea. Yeah,
Claire, did you say Figment can leave? See, you weren't there.
Claire, you can
Claire.
leave. How do I just swing a band hammer right here?
No,
How
don't
I-
do that. Don't do
I'm
that. Claire's
kidding. I'm
lovely.
kidding. Hey, she threatened to throw me out for saying I don't like stickers on one of her streams. So it's all good.
Well, Claire is.
Oh my God.
I feel like Claire and I are big enablers for each other of Disney related stuff. And like I've always been a Disney junkie, and now I'm getting Claire into it. And now they have season passes to Disneyland, so I'll take some credit
Same.
for that.
We're magic key holders. It's very exciting.
Somebody tears to that junk.
Yeah, we got the middle of the road. It always works for us. That's what we like doing. But yeah, it's interesting. Figment, I feel like you kind of had to grow up with it, but if you didn't, like, you don't get it. But what's weird is it doesn't matter, man. His merch is always flying off, and they
I
show him
assume
no
these
love.
people-
It's crazy, you know.
I assume it's people just like me who also grew up with Figment, but I grew up in like mid '90s Epcot. Like it was fantastic as a kid going there. Like they also had the Wonders of Life
Innovations.
Pavilion. They had the Horizon Pavilion. Right. They had the two
Innovations,
innovation
sorry.
sides, Innovations, whatever they were, that are now just big construction sites. Like that was my jam. Horizons is my all-time favorite, like long forgotten ride. And like it was again
Very
just
much like
full of-
Spaceship Earth, so that makes sense.
yeah, it was full of dioramas of like life-sized animatronic people. I don't know why that was my jam so much. They also had an option where it was like, do you want to live like under the sea or in the desert or in space? And I'm gonna pick under the sea every time. Which
There was a
is,
keypad,
like,
right, in the vehicle.
It was some screen in front of you, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm riding with my parents, and they were
Wow, we're
like, "You
going
get to
deep.
pick because you're a kid." And like I would always pick under the sea.
Oh boy.
That was my. I mean, I have a lot of deep-seated, like my entire personality is somehow, unfortunately, based on Disney rides from the mid '90s. Like I wanted to be a marine biologist growing up in South Florida because I rode on the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride as a kid, and I got to pick the undersea living option on Horizons, and like that, I wanted to be a marine biologist for a very long time. I went to marine biology middle school, and then I was like, that doesn't make enough money. I'm going to be an architect. Shout out to Claire. And then I was like, that doesn't make enough money. I'm going to be an accountant. And then I was like, I don't like accounting. I'm going to be in business. And then I didn't do business, and now I'm a web developer. And that isn't related to Disney, but like
Takes away to
everything
find it.
else
There's a lot
about
of
my
fun.
life is that just like I want, like my number one Lego set is a Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And that is
Oh.
entirely based on Disney World's ride, which is, yeah, I could wax poetic about Nautiluses for days.
Dude.
Also, hey, Laura.
You know, I
in the
saw the
chat.
actual miniature. God, I'm so terrible. What's that theater? The theater in LA where they do all the premieres. El Capitan. The theater where they do all the Disney premieres. Anyways, they did a retro night of 20,000 Leagues, and they had the actual model, you know, from there, kind of like how the miniature, like they did with Star Wars or whatever. And I got to see it, and it was awesome. And it's funny, embarrassingly, I grew up with the ride. I grew up with World, by the way. I live out here now. Worked at World, but
Working at
always
World.
familiar with 20,000. But I finally went and saw it, and kind of probably like you, my attention span's not that great. So I've tried to watch 20,000 Leagues like on streaming. It took me going to the theater to finally see it. And oh my god, dude, that's a
The
banger!
movie?
Like
The 54 movie?
phenomenal. The movie's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
produced by Disney, 1954.
Some of those old
great
movies are
cast
hard to
of
watch,
characters.
dude. Particularly black
It
and
was
white.
some of the earliest movies that were like filmed actually underwater in scenes. A very bad depiction of like sharks and how dangerous they were back in the day. It was like a lot of the reason that people think sharks are dangerous, and they're not. But that was a little bit of Jules Verne worked in there because they didn't know anything
Yeah.
about underwater life back then. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Also, no surprise.
Well, I'm embarrassed to tell you I've watched it once, but I was like, man, it's kind of when I finally was like, nope, I'm blocking out everything and watching Citizen Kane. There's some of those older movies that you just haven't watched for whatever reason. We all have
I
them,
haven't.
and that was one of them. So, it's very
Yeah, I have a whole collection of movies that I like. People ask me if I've seen, and I'm like, no, and they do like the what? Oh, you gotta go watch it now, like type of deal. I did that with Forrest Gump forever, and then I finally watched it, and I was
Great
like,
movie.
Oh yeah, it lived up to the hype
It's
for
the best
sure.
movie of all time, and I'll argue anyone to the death. By the way,
It lived up
Here-
to the hype for
I'll
sure.
do this real quick. Forrest Gump's the greatest movie of all time because it has everything in it. Name a genre that's in it, and it's
Is there a sci-fi element to it?
sure. Josh helped me. I don't know about he had to go there on that.
Sure.
I also love Forrest Gump as a movie, so I won't.
I think it's the
argue.
greatest movie of all time. It's got sports, a love story, music, a war. Help
We
me
need
out.
some kind of Forrest Gump Lego set. At least a minifigure of him like sitting on the bench or something.
minimal.
I bet there's a Lego Ideas candidate out there right now.
Yeah.
There
They'll make
always
it.
is.
They'll make it
Some
happen.
People ask me, I'm like, there's a million movies when they come on at any point that you could watch, and it's like, yeah, Forrest Gump. It's so good. Like,
Man, we
there's
really
movies
went
that,
off
that
the
come on at
format
any
today.
point you can. There's movies that come on at any point you can watch, like Rocky IV and Karate Kid and all that, and those are cool. But like, Forrest Gump's like Oscar level that does that. That's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
at with that, which makes it of a higher quality. Cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We
went
haven't.
down rabbit holes, Josh.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Lots of
let's-
rabbit holes.
Let's see. So Brent, mainline topic. Let's talk some Lego a little
Yeah.
bit here. Let's get back into it.
That's what we do sometimes here.
Do you want to talk Star Wars? Josh is versatile. I mean, whatever you want to talk
Yeah.
about. Do
Yeah,
you wanna
for
talk
sure.
about
Gives you that
Din
idea.
Djarin? Is everybody fired up about this? What's happening?
So yeah. Well, first of all, we're 46 minutes in, and like we always forget to do is tell people to like and subscribe and the whole
Good
YouTube
job,
thing.
buddy.
So, well, I was gonna like interject earlier and be like, hey, we didn't do the thing, but I mean, whatever. We were. I didn't want to interrupt casual conversation. It was
You can blame me.
yeah.
I'll take that one.
it's a group effort, but yeah, guys. So if you're new here or you're watching this on replay, like and subscribe. Also, Josh's information will be down in the description below. Go check him out. I mean, if you want to see Lego reviews, you're not going to get them from me because I got young tiny baby and haven't made a video for like a month. So check his stuff out if you want to see some good reviews, especially on some of the recent Speed Champ stuff.
High
Any-
effort, by the way. High effort reviews too.
Oh yeah.
important.
Anyways, so yeah, Din Djarin. I think when we first saw those leaks from the N1 Starfighter, like on the back of the box, you could kind of see like on the back of his head, like, ooh, that might not be just a blank black head. And I guess there was another image that was leaked. Could be real, could be not. But I think everyone's pretty sure. At the end of the day, it is still a leak that could not be real. But I think we're finally going to get a Din Djarin face. I mean, it's pretty overdue. Like we've known what he's looked like since end of Mando season 1. So seeing that is going to be really cool on the Naboo Starfighter. It's not just going to be
Brent,
like
who has
another-
that? I want to pull up a shot. Who has that?
Falcon fan, I'm pretty sure. Good old reliable Falcon fan. While you're looking for that, the next kind of rumored set that I think is pretty darn likely, because I mean we didn't get a Rancor pit, so to get a Boba Fett's Rancor versus I believe it's pronounced Scorponic. It's basically like the droidicas on the
big
friggin'
droids?
yes,
Yeah.
which I feel like is very likely because that would just be a really cool. Like we get so many mechs in Lego, like Iron Man mechs, all these Marvel mechs, but to get this kind of buildable figure of a big droid like that, it's so appropriate for it. I saw, I don't know, somebody had, it's like set 8002. It's a Technic droidica from episode 1, probably came out in like 2002 or something. And I forgot that set existed. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like this whatever it's called, Scorponic droid obviously is going to be similar to that, but with way better, technology and updates to the parts. So there's no, information on how much this is going to be. It could be a $60 set, it could be $100, but I think there's a lot of potential with that. And I think it's going to be two things that everyone kind of wants. We want a Rancor, but to get a buildable giant, whatever it's called, droidica on steroids is also going to be pretty legit.
Will chimes in like 5 minutes later with Jenny.
Yes.
Catch up, Will. Hit
Jenna.
the live button on YouTube.
She's the worst part of the movie, by the way. We can go into that, but anyway.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's an
oh,
abusive
yeah, it's-
relationship. Let's
she
not
really
do
is,
that.
like,
She is
terrible.
awful, right? She's
Yeah.
really-
Let's not do it. Also,
Well,
those giant droidicas are a joke in Book of Boba Fett.
Dude, they're honestly like I was like, dude, what are these things like? They're
Ooh,
literally
shrimp
like,
boat?
well, they're like they were almost behaving like a human. Like one you would down it and then it would just come back like it's freaking like it's a zombie droid or something. I don't know.
So
Those
you gotta
things
watch
I
were-
think Josh
watch
wasn't a
that
big
episode.
Boba Fett fan of the series.
No, I
Just a couple
was.
things
I
you didn't
just-
like? Or?
No, you just had to zoom out and enjoy it from a surface level. Like, don't
Yeah.
overanalyze everything. Like, don't look too deep into the multicolored scooters and the weird slow chases and the
Right.
Like, I just wanted it for the overall arc and the bigger story, and like bringing Mandalorian in was the way to go, in my opinion. And then it negated everything that was impactful at the end of Mandalorian season 2, and then these giant droids couldn't do anything, and then the Rancor, like, you have to like view it from a 13-year-old perspective of like, now there's a Rancor just like tearing through the city, and that part is cool. That part I appreciate. That was a lot of fun. Overlook a lot of the boringness.
Yeah. I felt like the flashbacks were really heavy or whatever in the first 2 episodes. It was cool stuff and it built the lore, but like in this world we're in now, give it to me now, immediately, I need it yesterday. Like I knew that was
Right.
kind of probably not the best move, you know.
This
It'll
is
be
the
interesting
way.
to see if we
It picked
rely.
up.
I'm curious to see if we'll see a lot of flashbacks in Obi-Wan, which it seems like we will. And full
Yeah.
disclosure, I have not watched the trailer, and I won't, and I don't watch trailers
Ah.
for anything. The only like I am neurotic about spoilers, like to an annoying level. My wife does not want to go to movies with me because it's like new Marvel trailers on. My fingers are in my ears. I'm looking down and I'm humming to myself. Like I literally
In the theater you'll do this.
if I can avoid seeing a single frame of something that I know I want to see, new Star Wars, new Marvel, whatever, like I want to be as surprised as possible. Obviously, that's impossible.
Yeah.
With like social media and stuff, and so I'm seeing all the same people complaining about not pointy heads and whatever of these other characters and stuff. with
Oh,
Obi-Wan,
yeah.
but like I'm not going to watch the trailer, and whatever reason we got onto this point. But I think Obi-Wan will, like, it has to rely on flashbacks because it has to lean onto the same nostalgia that makes us all like, that's the stuff we want to see from Obi-Wan. Give us a young Anakin, give us a Vader or whatever. Like
You're
There's a
you're
lot
not the
there.
guy who goes on social and then complains about spoilers, right?
no, I literally
You just stay away, right? That's what I do.
I've got
Like,
a
you
list
can't
of
blame
muted words
people.
on Twitter a mile
Oh,
long.
nice. Okay,
Like,
good.
I
Yeah.
have to do it, and like it stinks. I do the same thing for Formula One, which is another subject we could get into today
Let's
because
do it.
Lego's getting into that today. But like I just don't follow all of these things that I'm a fan of because everyone spoils everything before anything comes out.
Yeah, I try to stay away from spoilers for the most part. I think like when the Batman first Batman trailer came out, and my fiance Jennifer was like, "You gotta watch it." And I was like, I mean, I don't know, I'd probably rather not, like, or whatever. But this, I won't. If they put out another Obi-Wan trailer, I definitely won't watch it. This one is definitely more like Jennifer was like, "Oh, they didn't show anything," and I was like, "Well, that's the problem with trailers nowadays. They do show everything." So it's like
Yeah.
I like the very subtle, almost just giving you the essence of kind of what it'll be like. So I liked it. It just, to not spoil anything, it did clock like 8 million views already in like a couple days.
Of
So
course.
if that speaks for
course.
anything, it's it was like number 2 on trending. So it's,
You know what I'm
I
cool
won't,
with
I won't,
is,
I won't say
teaser,
anything
is
else.
teasers. I like teasers, Josh. Like
It's more of what it is.
Which this
This
was
is
a
a buck.
teaser, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It's like
It's
a
a $1.47, something like that.
yeah, it's a long
I'll do
teaser.
that when I see something's like girthy. You gotta throw that out there. Represent when something's girthy, like a 5
Throw it
minute
out there,
thing. It's like,
represent.
I'm gonna know the plot. I'm gonna know the finish. I'm gonna know. Oh, Woody Harrelson's in this too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to get into that level of detail. Like, I'm with you, but for me,
Yeah.
it's like the stuff I really want to see. I try to prioritize, even with Bad Life and all that stuff, because it's like,
right.
Otherwise, like you're banned from social, and I've done that. It's like I couldn't get to
Right.
Boba tonight, which was healthy actually. But yeah, you go in
Yeah.
there and you see people like, you guys spoiled it, and it's like 3 days later. Like, I understand if you see a sneak preview, that's pretty messed up as a human, on the human level, to do that.
Right.
And people doing it in line and stuff. If you're in line to see it, and the other one
Dude,
got
yeah.
out,
I
that stuff is,
I
that stuff
came-
is-
I came out
punch-worthy.
of
But like, if it's the day or two after the thing dropped, it's on you, bud. Sorry. I mean, like, people are idiots. You gotta
yeah.
recognize they're gonna be.
I was walking out of Spider-Man, and there was like the next line there, and me and Jennifer walking. I was like, should I mess with him? Should I like yell a fake spoiler?
No, you absolutely shouldn't.
Well, no. She was like, no, do it, and I was like, Han Solo dies.
Josh's
Like,
about to reach through the screen and punch
obviously-
you in the face. Right
well, no. It's so funny because like
You're gonna see
obviously,
angry Josh for the first time. I want to see
no.
it.
Well, it's funny because obviously, like me yelling Han Solo dies is like obvious, like that's a Star Wars character. But people were still looking at me like, don't test me, dude. Like some people laughed, and other people were just looking at me like real like pissed off. And I was like, hey, sorry, it's just Han Solo. He dies. Back in 2015, he dies in The Force Awakens.
I got that spoiled for me before seeing Force Awakens.
Same.
Oof.
I wasn't happy
All right,
about
Josh, let's
that was
go.
hard to avoid.
I saw it in New York like 2 days before it was supposed to. Like I was good on that one. It was good.
You're lucky.
I am. I had no idea going into it. I knew Han was in it. I watched the Celebration trailer, whatever, the shortest one.
The
I could
Chewie
watch
were
it.
home. The Chewie were home where like the people at Star Wars Celebration like freak out.
Yeah, and I'm one of those old tear up guys about Star Wars stuff. So like
That was a great moment. That was an
was-
iconic moment.
I
Like,
know, but I wish
amongst
I
the
didn't know
community.
it, man. I wish I didn't know it. A lot of this
Yeah.
stuff is. By the way, I somehow avoided the Luke stuff in Mando season 2 finale. I had no idea that was happening. I was a mess, dude. I was a
Yeah.
Same.
mess.
I avoided that.
I would have
too.
been so mad if that was spoiled for me. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like Tony Stark was ruined for me with the Avengers stuff, and I was like, whatever. But Luke, dude, we're talking about Luke, like Jedi Luke. If that would have been ruined for me, I would have been like, all right. Formula One, Josh, go. Here's the deal. Formula One, beyond Lego.
Formula One, Josh, go.
Talk to me about this. It's just getting big in the U.S. now. It's always been like this international fringe thing.
Mhm.
Why is Formula One? Why are we hearing about this almost like NASCAR level in the States? What's happening with that?
Well, I'll tell you why I got into it like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's Netflix's fault, as are most of the problems in my life are Netflix's fault. They came out
Okay.
with a show called Drive to Survive, which
Okay.
basically one season of the show followed one season of Formula One racing, right? And the barrier of entry to me was like, I don't understand it. It's complicated. Like, I don't know the team dynamics. I don't know how many racers are out there, how many races they do, whatever. But this show, like every single episode, followed a single race and also focused on a different team at a time. And there are 10 teams in Formula One, which isn't that many to follow, and there are two
Oh,
drivers
nice.
per team. And so it's like they're teammates, but they're also still competing with each other. And
To be the guy
way
who drives
Netflix-
on the race?
Well, no, because they're both driving every race. Like every team has two
So there's
drivers.
20 cars
per
out there,
race.
but only 10
Yeah,
teams.
there's 20 cars out there, 10 teams.
Oh,
And so
that's
it's like
cool.
some teammate dynamic, but also some like competitive dynamic. And like,
Right.
and I got into the sport because of that Netflix show. And it was a great introduction. And like, you can watch from how like 3 or 4 seasons ago, and most of those drivers are still driving right now. And like, so I kind of started following Formula One then, and then like I would watch every race. And like the last couple of years, like I watch every single race. And in America, it's a little annoying sometimes because in my time zone, it's like the race will be at like 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. And
Yeah.
like you'll have to have ESPN2 or something. I just pay for like the Formula One. What they have their own subscription service, and you can just watch the races on demand. And so that's why like I don't follow anyone Formula One related, because if I check social media Sunday morning, like I'll know who won the race, and like I'll be like, well, there's
Right.
no point to watching it anymore. But like I attribute a lot of Formula One's resurgence in the United States to Netflix, and also like they do race in America. There's in previous years there was one race in America, and it was in Austin at Circuit of the Americas, which is like that's where I live. And like I used to live really close to the racetrack down in Southeast Austin, and like I could hear the cars on Formula One weekend. Like it was a big deal in town. You'd go downtown and you'd see like everyone's wearing Mercedes gear and Ferrari gear, and it's a whole different crowd of people down there.
They sound so ridiculous too. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
Ferrari
a-
on steroids. Like
It's crazy. It's cool.
Is it like, vroom?
it's like
much
it's
higher
unexplainable,
pitch
really.
I know,
Yeah.
I've been to the Daytona and stuff a bunch of
Is
times.
it like
No,
real?
I'm messing around. It's hard to describe. Josh, do you
No,
feel
it
like
is.
it's the hockey? You kind of got to go. So have you been to one? Like I feel like it's one of those things. If you go, it changes your life.
I've never been to a live race, and like
You gotta go,
last
dude.
year was the first year that I would have considered going. Like I hung out with friends who were coming into town who were going to the race, but like it was like kind of the end of COVID era kind of thing. So I was like, I'm still not 100% sure. Like
Right.
if things continue going the way they're going now, I'll definitely go this year. And this year there's like 3 like a potential of 3 races in the U.S. Like they've got an Austin race, they'll have a Miami race, and maybe a Vegas race, which I think they've done in the past. Like if that's not reason to get into Formula One, I don't know what is. Like all the regulations of the cars changed in the last year, so like there's some talk of like a fresh start and stuff. Literally, the first like televised practice weekend is like this weekend, and so I think that's a reason that Lego's coming out with this Formula One stuff too,
Yeah.
because like the hype is
coming.
real right now.
The hype's coming. Yeah, I've
Well,
noticed
I was
I've noticed the groundswell without, and thank you for giving us the little
yeah.
Cliff's notes on why this is happening, because I don't know, I pick up on like, okay, this is being talked about a lot. Why? This is this international niche thing. I get it. Just like Indy, what is this? Because my brother's like the biggest NASCAR freak, and like I've, growing up in Central Florida, I've been fortunate enough to go to like it was called the Firecracker 400, but it's the Pepsi 400. He was a Jeff Gordon guy, all that stuff, and went to the 500. I don't know how many times. Just it was something to do, and I'm into it when I'm there. But at the end of the day, like it's hard to follow because at the end they're just turning left repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, you mentioned Jeff Gordon. I feel like
NASCAR in particular, but I love the branding and I love the logos and the call out. I'm a sucker for all that stuff, but I never stuck with it. And part of the problem was, learning all the dudes, right? Like that's why I don't follow college football. It's hard. There's whatever it is, 110, whatever it is, teams. NFL is easy. There's 32. You can see what's going on.
The Big Ten's all you need to watch, bud.
Yeah, there's only 10 teams in Formula One too.
No, so yeah, man, I'm gonna look into it because I at least like to have working knowledge and be able to have a conversation about practically anything. But that I'm just totally like, is this Ford versus Ferrari? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't know.
Netflix also they it's like half soap opera, half like actual show. Like they dramatize a lot of the like conflicts between drivers and teams and stuff. And obviously there's some of that, but like they kind of like overemphasize some of that stuff to make it seem more exciting. Like the races alone are exciting enough if you watch them.
Yeah,
It's still
basic.
You're saying the drama stuff is this kind of like a Hard Knocks kind of thing? This show you watched?
I don't. It's real stories.
Hard Knocks,
but
right?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm
Hard
playing
Knocks is
along.
like the
I'm
real
guessing
behind the scenes NFL stuff, like most access they ever give. Brent, you've seen Hard Knocks, right?
I've not.
Wow.
I'm not.
All right.
It's an NFL thing. I'm a Browns.
It's
fan,
pretty cool. So they show the training camp of
I'm
they pick
sorry,
a different team.
I know
What's up?
that's why I like. It's like I like football and like I don't. I've just been a Browns fan for my whole life. So I mean, hey, I'm an Ohio State Buckeyes fan, and we usually do pretty good there. So it's like that I can be confident in. Like, oh yeah, I'm a Buckeyes fan. It's like, who's your NFL team? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Browns fan. I kind of like. I don't.
Sorry.
Especially now that all the Bengals fans are like, oh yeah, when's the
Dolphins
last
fans,
time
so
you
we're
been
not
to a
far
Super
behind.
Bowl?
That's a joke. A bunch of flukes in the playoffs this year. Let's not get into that.
Wait,
Oh, man.
so Josh, are you a born down there?
Texans?
Are you a Dolphins guy? Or?
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
grew up with the Dolphins, sure, but like you can't with
You're
any sense of
forced
pride
them.
follow the Dolphins as an adult. Like you got to pick someone else growing up.
So my
At this
mom
point-
used to like babysit the players' kids and stuff. I have no choice. Like it's deep within my soul. I can't escape
just-
it.
That's
dude.
how it is with the Browns. It's deep within my soul. It's like my dad's dad was a Browns fan, and
My grandfather
was
sat
probably
me
a
on his
Browns
knee and goes, "This is your team. Now suffer the rest of your life."
yeah, and then now my son is going to be a Browns fan, and I'm sorry in advance, Henry.
Sorry,
but,
kid.
Hey, listen, the
That's a
Bengals had their
different
day in the
subject.
sun.
Listen,
I
we just
keep
need to
thinking
trade
about
Baker
them.
Mayfield. All right, we need to trade him. We need to get rid of him. We need to bring in another QB.
But he's in all those commercials.
Dude, he's in so many commercials. He's in almost as many commercials as freaking Patrick Mahomes, which I don't know. I don't think anybody is in as many commercials as Patrick Mahomes, honestly. Oh man,
That dude's making bank.
dude, yeah. Head and Shoulders alone, he's in like 80 different commercials with Troy Polamalu. It's ridiculous. Shout out to Head and Shoulders. I use Head and Shoulders.
We went 6 subjects away from what we were chatting about. The most important thing is that
Oh, yeah.
Selena asked if I'm for or against Sebastian Vettel, who is like 4-time world drivers champion and used to race for Ferrari, now races for Aston Martin. Used to be like a kind of tough guy racer, but like he is just universally viewed as been in the sport long enough that he can do whatever he wants, doesn't care, He's an activist. He's like seen cleaning up trash on the racetrack after the race. Like
Nice.
everyone at this point loves Sebastian Vettel. And
He's
if
a
you don't,
people's guy. He's like
you're
turned to a
wrong.
people's guy now.
He's such a nice, cool, older dude. It's Formula One also has this fantastic.
Is he the
dynamic of,
Jordan
like,
or no? He's just like a well-regarded veteran.
No, Jordan is Lewis Hamilton, who is still racing right now. Like he's 7-time world driver. There's like 4 or 5 current drivers who have won the championship previously. But like to that note, there's like this great dynamic of these drivers who have been doing this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And this like new generation of drivers who are just coming up. And so you've got a bunch of like late 30s, early 40-year-olds racing against these like early 20-year-olds, and like there's a great dynamic of like age of like who's going to be the next Lewis Hamilton. And he could have retired this year, but he's still there. And it's like you've got a bunch of great drivers who've been doing this forever and a bunch of great new drivers, and you don't know what's happening in it. Like, are they a great driver, or are they stuck with a bad team or whatnot? And it's like some of that's changing this year with like George Russell, who used to be on Williams, and now he's moving up to Mercedes. And like, I'm so stoked for this year. And it's literally not this weekend, but like the next weekend is the first race of the season. Like, it's a good time to be a Formula
Brent,
One
we
fan
should
right
crash course and start covering this.
Dude,
That's what's up.
I want to
ESPN
I want
I
to
like
I
that
want to
it's
get
small.
into it.
I like that it's manageable, Josh. It's
Right.
kind of like
Well,
Speed
'cause I've-
Champions. You know, it's very
Well, I've-
manageable.
Yeah, I've been a
20
car
dudes,
guy.
I could do that. I could figure
Yeah.
that.
I've been like a casual just car fan in general ever since like maybe like
You're a man, dude.
2014ish. Well, you know,
I'm the
You
same.
know, I mean, we
same
kind
as
of
you
care
guys.
about this.
I just like driving. Like I don't have a really flashy car. I have a Honda Civic Si. It's got like a couple parts on it. It's fine, but like the main part about it is it's a stick shift. And
Don't
it's just,
bullshit, Brent. You know you got NOS in that thing. Come on.
I need 2 cans. You can't. You've got a heavy foot. You'll blow yourself to pieces.
I just
Speaking
said
of
it
Fast
loud.
and Furious,
Furious.
Oh, here we go. Don't spiral. Don't
hey,
spiral.
family. This is a family podcast, guys. Family.
Dude, I remember you guys are younger, but I remember seeing that in the theater and like everyone went outside. You remember like, well, no, you probably don't remember that either. You're younger. But after Karate Kid, everybody went outside and did the crane kick, you know, or like simulated star lightsaber battles. Nope, that was wrong.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing.
When I saw Fast and the Furious, I was
Everyone's
19
doing
or
burnouts.
or whatever.
Everyone's
Yeah,
peeling,
dude.
one wheel peeling out of the.
Everyone
freaking
was
parking
taking
lot.
their stock Sentra and was like, "Let's do this," you know. Like it was
Anybody with a slight anybody with a Japanese related car was just like, let's do this. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I got a Civic.
yeah.
I think I had a
was like,
Scion at the time.
It
yeah.
might be a D series and it's an automatic, but I can still pretend like it has VTEC.
What did I have? Definitely wasn't anything cool, but everybody was like, "Let's do this. You want to race for pinks?" I'm like, "You guys don't even own these cars. What are you talking about?"
No, everyone's leased a car in their mom's name.
It's my
Yeah,
mom's
we're
car,
all
but do
like
you want to race
kids.
for peace?
Or it was an 87 Camry in my case or whatever the hell it was. It was like, okay, that's what I had. So we touched on it briefly. Josh, Speed Champions. I want little bit deeper here. Why the explosion? Why now? Is it because it's just quality and cream rises to the top? But like, why? Is it trendy? Is it getting good views? Like, talk to me from the YouTuber sense, and then talk to me from the fan sense, because it feels like everybody's talking about it now. Like, not like I feel Just Too Good's not on it, for example, but I feel like a lot of the guys and gals I watch are starting to talk about it. Is just because it came out in the March wave. Like, why do I feel like I'm seeing Speed Champions everywhere, or is it just osmosis? What's happening here?
Justin's got some wild takes. So I just want to mention that. Though. He's like done
That's
with
fine.
Star Wars altogether. I'm like, oh, come on.
He's
Oh,
also
that's-
young. There's also a fun
that's fun.
generational gap between Lego YouTubers, which I'm enjoying, because
Mm-hmm.
I think my viewership, granted it's not big, but like I will get people that will watch Speed Champion stuff and will comment on it, and like I think my demographic skews a little older than a lot of other Lego YouTube demographics.
Oh, here's the reason.
Also-
Shy's saying why.
Shy's correct. When people think Josh from Josh Build Steps, they think
When I
Speed
see
Champions,
people
when
are
they think
talking
Speed
about it, Josh,
Champions.
you make up 1/10 of the people I watch regularly, so that's probably why I'm
Apparently.
like, why is everybody talking about this?
But like I was like you guys, like I like got heavily into Lego like somewhat recently, and I'm like kind of a casual car guy, and like I appreciate McLarens and Ferraris and like supercars
We all
and
do,
sports cars.
yeah.
And like I watched Top Gear and the other like automotive English shows that were on, and like I play a bunch of video games. I don't play for Forza Horizon and other like general
go.
car related games.
Turismo. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I have a general knowledge of these cars, but I think it's like it's what we were saying earlier. The theme is accessible. It's every set is like $20 for a single car and like at most $50 for a 2-pack. Like that's not terrible. The build is concise. It's displayable if you want to display it. You can also play with it. Like my kids love barging in my office and grabbing cars and racing them around. Like it just I honestly struggle to find negatives to the theme unless people are just like, I don't care about cars in general.
Yeah. I just remembered something that I didn't put in the notes, and I want to mention it before I forget. But I myself, you know, when I was just getting into Speed Champs, I always thought it was like, oh man, it'd be cool to make a garage mock. You know, like the checkered floor, get a couple lifts in there that maybe have, you know, you can make them function or whatever. But, and I know this is a little bit of a reach, but what makes me think of it is when I liked Hot Wheels as a kid, there was these like, you could buy things like that. Like, oh, here's a carrying case that holds them all or whatever.
Yeah.
If Speed Champs, this would be wild, especially if, you know, these, you know, all the leaks channels and everything are speculating on it. Like there's this Speed Champs part or set number that's $200. It'd be pretty cool if they made a garage. Like take all the Speed Champs cars you've bought in the last couple of years. Here's a garage, have a functioning door, have lifts on the inside that go up and down. Probably won't happen. But
Like the Iron Man armor thing, kind of like.
well, yeah, because it's like
idea.
if you
Have 2
don't
or 3 cars and then
Right.
leave slots for the rest, that'd be cool.
Well, if you're new to Speed Champs and you don't have any cars, and you get this garage, well, you have to get a couple cars. And if you already have a couple cars, it would just
What
be
up,
another
Ninja?
reason to be like, dude, I got this freaking awesome garage, and I'm displaying all my favorite cars in it. Probably won't happen, but if it did, it would be cool. Just wanted to mention that before I
Very
forgot.
cool.
I
never
still
heard that rumor.
Oh no, it's definitely not a rumor. I'm just speculating. But like it's gonna be something I want to try to make myself, even though I'm not a great custom builder. But if Lego wants to take the burden away from me and trying to make a mock, they can make it into a set and it'd be cool, but it probably won't happen. But it'd be
Josh, you a mocker guy?
I'm not. The
Me
most
neither.
mocking I've
I'm
done.
a proud
are the-
non-mocker guy.
You can see the mosaics
Yeah,
behind
same.
me. Those top 3 are custom.
Okay.
That's the most mocking. I've
Recipe,
ever
or
done.
was that you? That was you.
What do you mean?
Was it a not bricklink rebrickable thing, or was that just you
Oh,
freestyle?
No,
Or you just kinda-
you can now go on Rebrickable and find those designs, but those top 3 are me: the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and Snowtrooper or Stormtrooper.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
fully
not a
created by
mocker.
JBS on those. Those are JBS customs. I like it. All right.
I've had a couple people send me, they're like, "Oh, I built your Stormtrooper," and I'm like, I'm flattered beyond, like, I can't even express how flattered I am that someone else would see it's something that I designed and want to make it themselves. This is a great feeling that I'm having.
Well, I'm sizing them up right now. I like
Hmm.
what I see. I'll be
Right.
honest. Back there. I like that. Yeah.
I took
It's-
inspiration from the official art sets and the Darth Vader one's below that one. You can't see it. I had the Iron Man one. I took him apart for parts. Now I just have 4 Star Wars ones up there.
There we go. It's ironic that you're into cars and stuff because, like, as Sean just said, JBS, like, that sounds like a car part or like a car company. Like, oh, yeah, dude, I got these JBS coilovers. They're sick, man. Top of the line. They're fully adjustable. I just say random stuff that doesn't really have any relevance.
That was
but-
an awesome take. That was like,
I appreciate it. If you're talking about JBS, I'm in for it, but it's gonna inflate my ego, and that's not gonna be good for me in the long run.
Oh, man.
Ready to switch bricks came in summoned by Speed Champions. Yeah, like I always knew it was a thing, right? Josh, when you're searching for content, you always see people building. I know like Jang's a car guy at heart, right? And so he's done a lot, and that's what's been cool. Our guests on the show have been what sort of mid, Brent, on Jang in general. There's fans and there's not fans.
Yeah.
Like you're not a big Jang guy, right? I mean, not personal, but like watching his stuff, right?
Me? Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah. You don't
so
watch his stuff.
I've always followed him, but like sometimes like I'll see like how long one of his reviews is for something, and I'm just like, dude, this guy really.
Yeah, but
goes-
sometimes it's like a fine.
No, it's cool.
Josh, where are
It
you at
is.
on that? Do you like yours kind of vary in length? I feel like you try to stay around that that 10 or less mark for the most part, but like Jang will go hard on like a set
Dude,
for like 20,
super hard.
23 minutes.
I admire.
I don't know about
really
you,
do.
but like especially when I'm talking about going back, which I'm not doing anymore. But when I get the bug and I want to get something retired, it's like, oh, there's Jang. Of course he was there in 2013 to give me 45 minutes on this set.
Right.
I love it. And you know, like I think he's a valuable resource, man. It's always high quality. What are your thoughts on Jang? Not personal, but do you like his stuff? Or
I'll give you personal and impersonal thoughts on Jang.
Cool.
I love Jang from a review
Me too.
perspective. He is so in depth that I will often not watch some of his reviews because they will act as spoilers for me of a set that I
Right.
know I want to get myself, because he will
Right.
give you every detail possible. And I've had multiple times where people have commented on my videos
Agreed,
and
Blake.
they've said, people have come to my videos and they've been like, I came here looking for a review and I got a bunch of nonsense and jokes. And
Oh, bro.
and I'll respond and I'll be like, if you came here for a legitimate review to my channel, you're in the wrong place. I'm just having some fun here. Like, here's a review that Jang did on the same set, and like, it's really in depth. That's what you're looking for. Clearly, you're not here for a JBS review because it's different.
JBS, yeah. Let's
But-
keep running that. I like it.
A Jang, like, the funny thing is, Jang
The
was
Bob
a
Ross of
faceless-
Lego, perfect. Yeah,
He was, and he's a legend partially just because of his own voice. But a couple
Right.
years
Jesus.
ago, Jang was faceless, right? We didn't know who Jang was.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah, it was
And
like
then
just a good situation, kind of.
Yeah, that too. And
Yeah.
the Kappa thing kind of came out, and it was like
that was
a
messed
lot
up.
of these big Lego YouTubers had the risk of getting all their content filed under like you're making content for kids, and he was like, if I show my face for the first 30 seconds of the video, now it's not for kids anymore because I'm a grown adult talking to you about a Lego set.
Yeah.
And like then this like great emergence of Jang came out where he moved over to Twitch and he'll stream most of his Lego builds, and Jang is just like the friendliest, goofiest dude that you can
Yes.
imagine. He loves just like
But
stuff popping up
authoritative
on his
too,
stream
though.
all the time.
He keeps his streams in check too.
Yeah,
Like he's the best. He's one of the best troll mitigators I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, he's been dealing with this for
He's like,
for
take it easy, guys.
10,
That's
15
enough.
Years,
And they do. They
right?
listen.
He's been
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
this
he's
for
been in
longer
the
than any
game.
of us.
It's just
But,
funny
like,
because
Yeah,
custom made
I
mock
love Jang.
JBS air intake. They just run. Hey, listen, Brent's idea. Listen, people are running with it.
Hey, man.
JBS air intake.
I'll take it. I'll make some radiators, some transmissions. Some
You should
No,
you should make
differentials.
like a sticker, but like base it off of like some other car brand. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of one off the top
No,
of my
don't
head.
do the
but,
thing
like,
where you make your logo like Supreme or something. JBS.
well, I
isn't-
don't know. I don't mean his like permanent logo. I just mean if you ever want.
Are you thinking about like ABS, like anti-lock brake system?
Well,
Is that
no,
where
well,
you're
That's a thing.
Well, that is a thing, but that's not a brand. It's just like a type of brakes. I mean, like I don't know. I guess JDM, but JDM.
Callahan?
That's
I
a
don't
thing.
know.
JDM's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I don't know. Listen, I don't put a lot of thought into the things that I just kind of spew out. I just
No,
say
I want you to
them
keep
sometimes.
doing that. No, I think it's funny. I like it. JBS, the car guy. No,
If you
I-
take me out of context, sometimes I come off as somebody who's very unintelligent.
dude, I
So-
love you both ways. All right, that's what I'm saying. So Josh, when we earlier, I and again, I comment on your video. I comment in your videos, and you reply, and you're very kind to do so. But I do feel like you put more effort into your reviews than most people. Now, from a technical standpoint, there's no one like Jang, right? We get that, and I appreciate that
You
you're
can't
not
match
even
his
trying to
quality.
go to. You can't, and why even bother? Instead, you do more of like a comedy slant.
Mhm.
Is this how much of that's freestyle? How much of that is scripted? If you don't mind sharing, because I know you could do both. I feel like you could riff and you could also write a lot, but sometimes you go on like these 10 or 20-second things where you're just like zipping and zagging and some like building on thought. No, I mean like because again, someone who did improv going, I'm like, he's got that, but I'm like, how much of that? If you don't want to lift the curtain, that's fine. But how scripted is it, and how much is you riffing, or are you doing multiple takes and picking the best one, or kind of how does that work?
It's a bit of column A, a bit of column B. It's more improv than not. Like I made a decision a little while ago that like if I'm gonna play the review game, I can't do the same thing everyone else is doing.
Right.
And
right.
Boring.
I have
I mean,
like
yeah.
the only thing I have that these other people don't have is my perspective on the matter. And my perspective is frankly ridiculous. Like, I would make videos where I wouldn't talk about the Lego set at all or enough, which isn't what people want to see. So I have to balance that nonsense of like,
Right.
Josh has been on a rant for a good 30 seconds here. He should probably talk a little about the Lego set, which he advertised in the thumbnail and the title of the video. But I will have ideas ahead of time. My videos used to be entirely made in a single evening. I'm like you guys. I got kids. They go to bed. About 8 o'clock, I can be in my office with relative silence in my house. And I would record myself talking about a Lego set. I would record some B-roll about the Lego set. I'd come to my computer, I'd start editing it, and then the next morning I would hope it would be out live. So
Right.
it used to be a very short process, but
Yeah.
usually I'll know what sets I want to review ahead of time. And so like if I think of a good like joke or reference or something that can be about a particular set, like I'll write that down in a big doc that I have. And like I'll try to work that into my own reviews. But like it's a mix of A and B.
Yeah.
If it's a really good joke, I probably thought of it ahead of time.
Right. I definitely wanted to bring that up just because, like, I don't always do this, but when we had Rich Boy J on, like, I dove way back, like,
He's a legend.
from his first couple videos, like, just
Dude, he's
way.
so awesome. By the way, have you met
Yeah,
him?
he
yet?
was.
Not in person, but
He'll be at Chicago.
Have you chatted with him at all?
He
Like,
will.
I
He
haven't
will
had the
have
opportunity.
He's gonna
He's
have
awesome,
his
dude.
Camino
You guys will
mock
be-
in Chicago, so that's kind of like he's gonna
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, he's well. I don't. I'm
That
sure he
settles it.
told people. I was say I didn't know if I was gonna leak that for people. Probably not. He's told
Don't
people,
leak
but like
Yeah.
he's gonna go to Virginia too, but he's not taking it there. So I'm like, now I can go to one or the other. I definitely know I can't squeeze him too, but
Come
we'll
to
see.
Chicago.
But
That's where
we'll
we're
see.
going this year.
Yeah. So
Josh, we're committing right now. We're gonna, I feel like Virginia couldn't handle this. It looked like fun, but it looked like people kind of ran out of stuff to do. I feel like Chicago would be where it's at. Brent, we'll have to look at it. But
yeah.
by the
We'll see.
way, like Brent and I have quickly, has it been 6-9 months? We're like really good friends and we still haven't met. That's
Oh
crazy.
yes. Well,
Like,
same with Max. Like I've spent
doing
so
this
much time
forever.
with
It's
Max, like
nuts.
playing MLB The Show online, and we're just talking throughout the whole thing. So, but yeah. Oh, I almost forgot what I was gonna say entirely. But yeah, in terms of like looking back at your like very first videos and then like your new ones, like like I don't. Did you used to not even show your face type of deal?
Don't
pretty-
watch old JBS content. Like,
Well, no.
I got stuff on there from like 4 or 5 years ago, but
Well,
it's like I started just doing like
right.
quote unquote speed builds, time lapse
Yeah, yeah,
builds, and then I was like, I'll talk about the set a little bit, and I was like,
It seems to be the
that sounds
gateway.
droll and monotone.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
it's
Why do you
but,
think that is, Josh? Why do you think people start with the no face thing? Seems to be is it
Right.
people worried about people finding them out at work? Like, why is there so much anonymity or whatever?
It's I mean, you guys do it. It's extremely hard to sit in a room by yourself and talk to
really
a
is.
camera.
It's so weird.
No, I don't.
it's a
That's why I just do
weird
the
thing.
stream stuff. I've dabbled. You guys can see a couple of my bad reviews. I prefer just have conversations about stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Like, I
yeah.
feel like I know my lane a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay at it. That's why I asked you about the scripted thing, because I think I could do an okay job, but I feel like I would just riff too much. And you're probably similar to me, Josh, where it's hard to stay. We've already gone on 70,000 tangents here. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like I would
Oh
do
yeah,
that
dude, it's
on a
terrible for
review,
like.
because I'm conscious of, I don't want to be like everyone else, and not in the indie rock way where people don't want anybody to be like, I genuinely don't, because I'm like, somebody else, not even because somebody else could do it better. Like, I genuinely don't want to be lumped in, like, ever. Even with
Yeah.
this stream, I'm like, I want us to approach it completely different because I'm conscious of it, but also that's the way I like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. I'm trying to drive to a point here, but I
Yeah.
just because somebody can get it elsewhere, it's like you got to look for a different angle, do the same thing, different angle. And I feel
Right.
like you're doing
Yeah.
really, and I do this spot where I blow up our guests, but like there's a reason it's highly targeted what we do. I just want you to know that like we don't just reach out to any old buddy and it's not because somebody has a certain amount of subs or anything. Like I feel like, when it's somebody we really respect and we want to talk to, that's doing a lot of the right things, that's who we want to talk to. And you're one of those dudes, because Like, I appreciate that you don't want to be like everyone else.
Yeah, because we only talk to like the
good of you.
coolest and best Lego YouTubers, and like if you haven't been on this show,
Only the
just like-
finest. Yeah.
Well, I can give you M&R Productions phone number if you want it.
I've been in it's like small. I've been in a little bit of contact with him. I asked him like a long time ago, and
Shy time.
he replied late, and then I replied late, and then nothing happened. And I
Day
messaged
one
him, like,
Josh
a month
fan. There you
ago.
go.
He's aware. We'll get him on.
I'm going to call him on a video at some point, and that's a bit that I can only use once because he will not answer my calls again after that.
Right
That's nice. That's awesome.
there, you go.
Yeah, we talked to him. He'll come around. We had Rick Queen on recently. That was a big get for
I
me.
saw
I was
that, yeah.
excited. Well, I was excited about it, and at first she was hesitant because it was in the time of when people were talking a bunch of shit and everything, and I'm like, I had to kind of assure her, like, we're not in that crew. Like, I genuinely respect what you're doing and for how long, right, Brent? And that was like probably one of our most wholesome, fun, kumbaya streams, and we're gonna have her back for sure. She's super awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, she's pretty chill for sure.
yeah, you know, so like,
It's wild.
Anyway.
It's wild talking to somebody who's been doing it for so long. It's like
Yeah.
10 some years ago, you were making Lego YouTube videos like when there wasn't that.
she still
many
has the
others.
spark though, and it's all still exciting to her too, and that's what's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, like
So-
she's having a lot of fun with it.
yeah.
Okay, so let's get into real quick.
Oh, we broke the format this week, didn't we? I apologize.
It happens.
These are
It
the
always
best shows.
happens. There's so many times when we'll have like
These are the best ones, dude.
We'll have X amount of notes and we get through like 30%
But I was
of them.
curious
So.
about the hot list this week because I want to know if Costco fell further down or if it's still up here.
So
We'll have to-
listen,
We'll have to see.
I have now. I don't know how close you were listening, Josh, in past episodes, but for the most part, I've kind of authored the hot list. We do it a little bit by proxy, but this week I kind of turned the keys over to Brent. So
Yeah.
it might look a little different this week.
So it's all Star Wars again?
No,
Y'all
No, I
gotta
wouldn't
branch
say
out,
it.
man.
no, it's not all Star Wars.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's
Listen,
tremendous.
I
All
think
right, let's get a
there's
screen.
a
get a
few in there you'll
screen
be proud of. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
Let's see.
You mean we're not going to talk about? We're not going to talk
I want
about.
Josh.
Princess
I want
Peach,
Josh to
guys.
evaluate these hard. You know, like
I just saw the whole list right there,
Oh,
but I don't think
Great.
this one was on there.
Hey, listen. Now, I don't know if I didn't do the
walk
order.
it through, Brent. This is your baby. Let's do it.
All right, so I just want to say though, I didn't do the order. I pretty much just told Sean 5. Okay, the reason why I'm going to say Moss Eisley Cantina is still on the list, not that it's like it's incredible, amazing set or anything, but I think it's just the sheer fact of like
No,
all the
nope.
Take it
Josh
again.
was already wrong set, buddy.
huh?
Wrong set.
You said
It's not
Cantina. I
Mos
didn't buy
Eisley.
the Cantina.
Oh, did I say Cantina?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm running on like maybe a couple hours of sleep in the past 24.
You're good, baby daddy. Keep it rolling.
Anyways, I'm not saying that this set is like super fire and it's like incredible, but I feel like the reason why it's relevant is there's a lot of people buying 2 of these and then bricklinking parts and then like making a better version. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see what people come up with. I thought M&R
I'm sure
Productions
that's
came up
exactly
with
what
something
they
pretty
go
cool.
on.
Yeah, well, I know Sean has no interest in this because anytime I talk about like slightly modifying a set, he's like, nah, don't want to do it. Don't want to do it, even if it's something little.
Josh, how do you feel about that? I want sets the way God and Lego intended. That's what I always say.
Well, yeah, I'm that way too.
I feel like we shouldn't do extra work on these things. You know, like, do you do slight mods at all? Like, what's your take on that?
I like the way you phrase that, as in God has an opinion on how Lego sets being
Well,
as
that's an
pure as
old timey
possible.
phrase, right? The way God intended. I'm combining the two. I don't know if it's
I am-
appropriate.
For the most part, I am of the same mind, but it's
A factory guy, you know.
my reasoning has nothing to do with a higher power. It's just laziness, and I like looking at what Lego decided to give us and why
Right.
Lego may have compromised on one thing or another, why they did or didn't
Right.
give us certain minifigures or what they could have done.
Or add a roof, for example. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah.
I don't modify my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I do very very small things like like R2D2 sticks way too high out of the X-wing. Take out a little plate, sits a little lower, looks tiny bit better. But
You're
Yeah,
being
nothing
modest.
crazy.
He's the banger of a light brick in the Vader castle.
dude, I still need to do a video about that. I like did that and I've showed people and like I really and I won't get into it. You guys will see it
Okay.
eventually.
All right. All right. So that's Boba Fett. Like, look, people are still
Yeah.
picking it up. I feel like Costco is really boosted this set.
Yeah, well, that's the move, especially
Realize
if
the
you want
review
to.
cycle's over, right, Josh? I mean, this is the review cycle on this one's gone. I think the Boba Fett cycle is gone, but people are buying it still and still talking about it. We have no rhyme or reason really for this. It's other than the feel thing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. This is
Let's
number
move
number
it.
4. So this, all right. Now, I mean, like we've said before, the hot list is not necessarily the 5.
Peach isn't even in here, which is the coolest part. My bad.
I
Right,
was gonna say,
right.
does Peach? Is this the one that Peach comes with?
Well, she comes
Yeah,
in a
there's-
starter pack, just like
Is
that's
this
'cause
for starter pack or no?
Oh, okay,
No,
so
this
I don't
is-
have to buy this crap.
This is
No.
this is for $100.
This is 130 or 120, I think.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty.
that's
it's
the highest priced Mario set besides
yeah.
the
Bowser's.
NES, right? Yeah. No,
Or,
Bowser
well,
was
yeah.
99. Airship
yeah.
was 90,
Yep.
99. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so this isn't necessarily a list of the 5 best sets or whatever, but I think this is just going to stir. It's going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers because I feel like a lot of people wanted like a nice creator expert kind of Peach's Castle, and like this is still really cool. It's going to be better to watch your in-depth reviews and see what it is, but I think most people are going to be kind of disappointed in this. Josh, I don't know if you're into Mario a lot, but I'd like to know your
I
take
don't
on this.
recall seeing much Mario from Josh, but be interesting to
No,
hear.
the thing is, I saw these sets popping up today in the last couple days also, and I assumed I would have to buy this set because I thought this is what Peach came with. Because I only want the little robotic
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi. I bought the
Right.
starter packs for those because I
Yeah.
bought the big NES because it has the Mario interaction. If you
Yep.
get that one too,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll buy the Peach starter set, but I'm relieved to learn that I don't have to get this one. That being said, I'm
Right.
surprised you guys with kids don't like these because
I don't hate him.
He
I don't hate him.
couldn't have been. He was probably closer to 4 at this point. My older kid, who's now 4.5, almost 5, like he loves the interactive Mario and Luigi,
Right.
and like the little bit they played with the couple of course pieces that I have. Like they love that part. But
Right.
so I have a bunch of these randomly in storage, but I'll break these out when the kids are older.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of how I am. My daughter is just not into it yet. I have probably 10 all in across the waves. This Bowser's Airship is the only one that's displayable in my opinion.
Yeah, that one's a
people
set. Yeah.
right. The castles, whatever, but I got the 2 starter packs for Brent. What was it, $30 or $40 at Costco?
Costco, man, that's a
So
steal.
we have
Yeah,
that
you guys
going
are
on,
those
but
deals.
dude,
I
it's
don't go to
it's just
Costco. Him and Max do.
It's,
not lucky
dude, I
enough.
went nuts on. I just got more Dark Troopers too for 22. It's awesome. This,
Jealous.
but this, yeah, man. Like, I don't understand this line. I get that it's for kids, but even my 4-year-old would get bored of this in about 45 seconds. I mean, honestly, she is more complex of a person than most people I know, and I just don't understand. Like, and I play Barbies with her, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we can role
She
play and
plays
all
Barbies
that.
with you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I
got
don't have
the-
a daughter yet. I get to make
thanks
those
for-
digs.
dude.
There you go.
Thanks for blowing my cover, dude. Girls are the best, dude. I'm telling you, it's
We're trying
awesome.
for number 3. Don't rub it in. We got boys in our genes.
Well, see,
Yeah.
so I girl first, boy second, and then I announced my retirement. Jersey's going to be on the wall, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to blow it if I make it lopsided. Anyway,
Right.
she's way into Star Wars and all this stuff. She likes Friends and the Friends line. She builds all that stuff. She's not super into this. She's played Mario Kart a little bit. And I'm like, you want to try this little thing? And she's like, oh, cool. It has a little, coin on his chest. She's past it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I get that they wanted the playability element to it. And I'm sure that was part of the agreement. I do a little bit of licensing stuff. Like there's a big emphasis on that and then like the physical play. But yeah, man, a lot of us nerds, we just want like a really cool representation of Peach's Castle. And people will buy it because it's good enough, but
Right.
it's
Well,
it's
we're
not what
gonna
they
get it.
wanted.
The thing is,
We're
we're
Yeah,
definitely
I'm gonna
going
buy
get
it because
right?
it's the monster set. But I'm done. By the way, I'm done buying the $30 and $40 Koopa Troopa parachute.
What about the polybags?
Oh yeah.
Dude, I buy a poly
creature bags.
everywhere I go. It's $5, dude.
Yeah. He likes John.
You can't
That's why I
say
told
no
you
to a
when you-
$5 set.
Well, I don't know if you remember the other day on your Batman thing. I was like, yeah, my daughter will build this and then I'll throw it into my collection because that's a nice little quaint little $5 set, right? But Nah, man, especially those middle of the road ones, man. It's so easy to pass those $70 sort of Mario sets.
Yeah,
I
I
like
look
the
right
big
past it.
girthy boys. I have 2 big sets from them. I have the castle, which I don't love, or Bowser's castle, and then the airship, and the rest was all like Walmart 7 to 15 to 20, maybe most clearance stuff, but getting nowhere near full price on this stuff, dude. I wish it was awesome, and I don't know why they don't give us minifigs. Well, a lot of comments coming in on this. Let's see. Mario blind bags are going up to 6. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
now
Are you
it's
talking about?
$6.
Jeez.
Sorry, we were probably talking about 2. Did you say blind bags, or were we talking about polys? I messed up there.
I said polybags, but I meant whatever the ones that you get a random like Mario enemy in it.
Right.
I don't know what
Like
those run
the-
right now.
Basically like a CMF, but
Those are the
Yeah.
CMFs, yeah. But either same answer on both. If I see one and I'm like, I have an itch, I'm like, yeah, I'll throw one of those in. But I don't love them. And I'm a Mario guy, and I'm just kind of disappointed. Should have made Peach as a brick model. Yeah, I mean something.
yeah.
Where do you
I feel
see
like
this going? Has this been? This must have been a contractual thing from your perspective, Josh. Do you feel like this has been a flop for the most part? I mean, this stuff's constantly on clearance. I don't get it.
It's hard to say because we're not the audience, but like you said, I don't know
Yeah.
who the audience is. I don't think it's our kids at 4 and 5 years old. Like
No,
maybe it's a little bit older of kids, and maybe they like building their own courses and running the courses and stuff. I don't. It's so hard to say who these are for.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I know you said your 4-year-old's not really into him, but Lana is 6, and
Yeah.
she'll be 7 this year. And this morning when Lego posted the Princess Peach and this, when I showed her, and she's tired, kind of grumpy in the morning, about to go to school, I was like, "Hey, Lana, check this out." And her face lit up. She's like, "Princess Peach!" Oh, like she was pumped. And then I showed her this.
Did she want it for the play features? That's the point, though. Did she
No,
want it because it's Peach, or she want to sit there and bounce this character for 2 seconds on a,
No, she
QR
like-
code? That's
no,
the part I don't.
So she likes it for all the reasons. She likes the playability, but she also has she's got a couple shelves in her room where she displays certain stuff. She's got the Disney Castle, man. She's got that thing proudly on display in her room. So yeah, she's really into it. She asks me all the time, like, can we get the Mario stuff out? And then I'm always tired. I'm like, maybe tomorrow. But no, she likes them.
So
but
we do have a resident flipper here, Josh. Flipping Flip. He's one of our Lego investor friends.
That
Gives
name
us some
fits.
insights. And he says, I have tons of Mario sets collecting dust on my inventory for what it's worth. That's the rub on this, man. I don't think it's kind of like my take on Disney Castle. It's like, I don't think this is doing what they thought it would. I really don't. It's one of the items that everybody, that time of year, July and January, when people are getting those unbelievable Walmart deals, there's always a stack of
Prior to the
Mario
August
sets.
releases, man.
yeah,
Yeah. So I like some of it. I just started showing my daughter Luigi's Mansion, on Switch. It's an awesome game. Those
They just
sets,
made a bunch of those sets, right? That looks
Yep.
like a good game.
I'm not
Yeah.
compelled. I'm not compelled because they just, I don't know, man. I like just tight little builds that I can put somewhere and stash, all these little sidebar things. I don't know.
We're
Kids
all
like the
anomalies,
extras.
though.
Yeah.
Snowlana says, like, a friend of hers has a 12 and a 9-year-old. Like, that feels like the demographic that would like this stuff. Like, I got nieces and nephews at that
Yeah,
age.
but they've
I
already
guess
played
they
on
would
a
like it.
console. How does this keep their attention, Snowlana? Can you?
Yeah, they're gonna go play Roblox.
right.
That's what I mean. Like they're already like full adults by then with the gadgetry.
Yeah.
Like what is compelling?
Yeah,
Even if I've shielded my daughter. Like we give her iPad on road trips and that's it because it's just really hard.
You're better.
I shielded her from a lot.
yeah,
Well, that's not exactly true. I've done it other times. Don't tell the missus. But the point is, like, she hasn't been swept up by like the digital world, so I'm trying to keep her in this world. And it's boring to her, and I know 4 isn't everything, and she doesn't have the history and the nostalgia. And I don't know. I'm not trying to like rail on Mario here, but it's like I am railing a little bit. I feel like this is definitely contractual at this point because I think this is a flop for the most part. Now, when it all retires, everything's going to go nuts and everyone will think it was a success. But
Maybe.
these Walmart little pictures I'm seeing on these clearance days, everyone's cart is filled with a lot of this stuff, and that tells me something. And I'm a retail guy by trade. That's what I do.
We'll see if they flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flipping flip will let us know.
All
Break
right,
Action
Brad.
Studios is asking before we
Oh.
jump to the next one, like,
Yeah.
what do we expect of minifigures being made? And, like, it
That's all
seems
we've ever
obvious.
wanted too. Yeah.
And I've heard all kinds of arguments of like, there's licensing issues, or they can or they can't do it, or like they can make them in Mario Kart scale, but that's Hot Wheels license or whatever. Like, it seems like if Lego's going to make a Peach along with a Mario and Luigi, it's like, well, I guess they're going to make a robotic Toad and whatever the yellow skirted carrot Rosalita, and
Yeah.
like the rest of the main lineup of the bunch of Mario games that have come out lately, right? And if we get all of those in robotic form, and if Lego somehow gets a license for a minifig scale, like, we got to get just all the classic dudes, which is like 8 to 10 to 12
Right.
characters at this point, right?
Bowser. What if they do Bowser and it's like a
You
big
gotta get a
fig
big
version?
Bowser.
Dude, it'll be like
I got
That
to do
started-
a quick dad run again. Sorry, guys.
You're
Can
good.
you? This comment's great here. I wanted to touch on this. I'll be right back.
Oh,
hate
you're
that you've
good.
done it. Ooh, I could go on for hours about
Yeah.
apps and Lego and their integration and necessity.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, like, with especially with like video and like
Mhm.
hidden side, I'll definitely say that. And like how I mentioned, my 6-year-old daughter will like ask me to get the Mario starter courses out and stuff. She still will ask me about the hidden side thing, surprisingly, even though that theme wasn't
And you're like, that's
went away.
deprecated, honey. That's
Dude, I was
gone.
like, it's I don't even think it works anymore. So, but for a long time, it's been a while since she asked me. Luckily, because then I won't have to tell her that it's gone. But no, she really liked that. And I mean, I don't know. Anytime I talk about like any like the apps they try to integrate, like video is such a clear cut. Like they're just trying to have have their own TikTok lane basically. And
yeah.
I thought Hidden Side was at least like kind of cool because it was more of a game rather than like, oh, this is like basically TikTok. Make your music videos with your, I don't know. There's people out there that like it, but it's, again, Sean talking about all this Mario stuff being on sale. I've never seen like a lot of those video sets are heavily discounted, like even in store. Like they got that the boombox 30% off, like even in store. Like I was surprised to see
I
that.
don't
in store.
get- We don't get a ton of those around here. I found dang unicorn
Oh, there you go.
that was listed for like $11 and rang up for like $7. Otherwise, I wouldn't have touched this thing.
Right. So the one little beatbox I have is the alien, and honestly, I like the fig a lot because he's
I got
got
him. He's on my shelves.
He's got print, like dual molded legs. He's got printing on the arms and on the side of the legs. Pretty solid. But it's like $20. These are just severely overpriced.
Hold on, I gotta flex. Obviously, the people that are in chat right now largely are already aware of this flex.
Ooh, okay.
But we're talking about AR apps. Video was a stupid AR app, but
Right.
I got the llama right. This is like, I think I own 2 of these llamas, but
Yeah.
I am one of the only people who has the llama's signature.
Ooh,
on
we
the
got
video
the
tile.
auto. That was from your
Sick.
trip, right?
That is from the actual llama character who was at Legoland on the very
Nice.
short-lived Lego video live tour
Live tour.
where you
How
got
was
to meet
Legoland, by the way?
llama.
Was that your first time? I'm taking the kids like in a few weeks. First time. Is it pretty cool?
Legoland will probably be fun for kids, but everything there is geared towards
Right.
7 to 12-year-olds.
All right, let me cut the shit.
there's
How's the
nothing
store?
for us to be there.
How's the
store's
store?
cool.
The stores are good, but it's a Lego store, right? It's not. They didn't
Yeah.
have. I guess they
don't
had
need to
some
pay $100
older
bucks.
stuff. It's like they had to fill shelves with stuff that like was a little older, and so I filled up on like poly bags and stuff that I didn't have before,
Right.
and a bunch of like the old like the character accessory packs and all those.
Yes.
Like I bought a bunch of those that were retired from like normal Lego stores.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we were at the one in Florida. No, we weren't. We were at the one in California. I've never been to the one in Florida.
Yeah.
I think Sans and Claire and them and Ryan, they stopped at the Florida one briefly to look
Claire's
for
back
some
in.
exclusive
Claire, is
stuff
this-
there.
Is this worth doing? I mean, the kids are, like you said, the kids are gonna love it. It's
I
fun.
like
Kids
I'm,
would
go-
like it. My kids would like it.
Yeah.
I'm going
I
either
like
way. Like it's gonna be fun. She's at that fun age. What's weird though is we're annual pass, Magic Key or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
for Disney. So my daughter has been going to Disney her whole life, and that's very important to me. I want her to.
Yeah. You need to try.
You get a call out that it's kind of like low rent. Maybe not at this age, but I wonder if she'll notice it's like a little more low rent than Disneyland. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's better than a Six Flags. or
Legoland is
something.
trash for adults, she says. Yeah.
I think kids would love it. I was in it for Miniland. Like I love miniatures
Right, exactly.
in general. I take after Walt Disney in that respect. Like that's one of my.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
way I
Claire,
can
I'm gonna
relate the
do it
most
for
to
the
Walt
kids.
Disney.
Right.
I love
still.
miniatures and still give him Miniland.
Yeah, it was my first time going, so like I had a good time, but I could definitely understand why like your second and third trips as an adult to Legoland would be like, okay, like all the ride, like the one ride that was like even like somewhat like the faster one was still like pretty puny. So I mean, it definitely
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like I already put her on Thunder Mountain. You know what I mean? There's nothing there that's as fast as Thunder Mountain.
I don't think I could
Yeah.
get my 4-year-old on Thunder Mountain. You're brave. And he's
No,
a
it-
tall
She's like
4-year-old.
5'2",
No.
by the way. So
No.
I was gonna say my kid's he's over the 42-inch mark, which I'm like that's the cutoff for a lot of rides. But
not thick
his
enough.
anxiety, he takes after his dad in the anxiety department, and so I won't get him on any rides. We'll see. I've never taken my kids to Disney because I live in Texas, right? It's a trek for us to get to either park.
Yeah, I'm 6'4", my wife is 5'10", and my 4-year-old girl, skinny as a rail but tall and already wearing 7-year-old stuff. Like,
Oh, jeez.
so I'm already training her either for like wrestling or volleyball. Figure it out.
jiu-jitsu. Get her an MMA.
No, she's gonna be a sports entertainer. She's gonna be in WWE, I think.
Dude, I'm gonna have Henry in jiu-jitsu when he's
And
like
popcorn
a
bucket.
year
All
old.
right, Claire, I'll do that. I'm going next. Please remind. I'll make a note too, but please remind if you think of it. I'm going a week from today. No, 2 weeks from today. Sorry, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I'm going.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And by the way, we're doing the hotel too. So like, I feel like that'll bring it up a notch.
The hotel
The
looks
castle or the
sick.
pirate one?
Yeah, there's two.
The castle. That's the newer one, right?
I don't know. There's two. I know.
Yeah. So
two
there's
in Florida.
Legoland Hotel, and then there's the castle, and each one has sub themes. We are doing
Yeah.
the wizard in the castle.
That's
Is what we're
exciting.
doing.
I want to do the
I
pirate
mean,
one.
Like, and this is how much of a geek I am. So like, I don't know, when you go to Disney, like I love staying on property. I'll do full days
time.
just for the hotel.
Yeah.
Like we're getting there Thursday morning, right? And I'm checking in as early as they'll let me, and I just want to like really absorb and appreciate the hotel because it's no joke, dude. It's over 400
You
per
wanna-
night.
You want to say which? Well, every hotel is ridiculous. Like Pop Century was 400 this past like value resorts.
Yeah, but that's
were
Disney, dude. I have a
ridiculous.
real problem when these like. I'm sorry, I love Lego, but in the theme park world, whatever. 400 for this, but there's treasure hunts and this kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
I want to take advantage of all that. I don't just want to sleep there. I wanted to build and all the cool stuff, and so I'm getting there a day early to do that. Then we're doing the parks. You know what I mean?
But
So-
you need to do that with kids anyway.
No, I know, but I want the full value. But even kids, no kids, I like to really check out the theming and walk the yards and see the pool. Even if I don't go in, my kids go in. I want to see every nook and cranny, the restaurant, the shops, all that stuff. Like, to me, that's as big of a draw as a park is.
You need to get the fried apples. They're really good.
Plastic
They were
Architect says
okay.
volleyball. Yeah, I mean, I'm out of shape now, but I was a pretty good hitter back in the day. I wish I started earlier. Yeah, my daughter is going to be good nuts on the sports. She's already got a cannon, dude. Brent, I didn't tell you, man. She throws like a maniac. She's 4.
There you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we're there.
I understand that point of pride from a father's perspective so much. Our 4-year-old, we did t-ball this past year for the first time, and like we went to the sports store and I bought a tee at home. We bought a bat at home. I bought a bucket of balls, and we're in the backyard every day hitting balls. And like he was the only kid. There are a bunch of 4-year-olds. They don't know what they're doing, but he's the only kid that the ball reached the outfield every time he
Nice.
knocked the bat.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then every time they were supposed to be fielding, he was crying in the bench with me because he didn't want to do that part. He just like hitting the ball. Kids are dumb.
He's a specialist. Well, hey, listen, DH is in both leagues now, Brent. Are you excited about that?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just passed today as part of the CBA. There's
Yeah.
going to be DHs in both leagues, which I'm fine with. I think both should have neither or have it. I'd probably prefer neither. I love when random pitcher gets a
You
base
don't want
knock
to
to
watch
win.
a pitcher hit a ball. What's Max's batting average right now?
So I'm pretty sure
No,
I've
but
asked
I mean,
Max
it's not
about it.
pure, dude. I like pure. I like what Little League rules. The pitcher hit. I pretty
Yeah.
much everything that
Well,
I had as a
hey, you
kid
got
is
your-
better than what's now. That's the
You got
way
your
I'm gonna
you got your Shohei Ohtani's, man. Like, I mean, I admire that guy because he throws gas and he can hit home runs. So
So one dude,
Wait.
you got one example.
There's a video
there's
idea.
there's like two others that are like okay hitters. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a few that'll hit a dinger here and there, like one or two a year. I can't think
Hey,
of them off the top of my head. Though.
Claire, video idea. Has Sands stayed in one of these Lego hotels? Because I could just see him being unleashed in there for 24 hours. That could be
You guys
Josh. You know him
absolutely
better. You guys are lifetime
Jeez.
BFFs. Would that be a
Yeah.
fun video of him exploring
He would
every
have a
nook
ball.
and cranny?
Sands
Claire,
is he's a dichotomy.
we should do this.
Sands is juxtaposition,
Sands at the
like personified. Sands is either like this is the worst thing in the world or this is the greatest thing in the world.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I think we get along
loves
great.
Things he loves. And he
Unleashed,
would love a
unhinged,
Legoland hotel.
semantics. Yeah, I'm the same way, Josh. I don't like average, and I also don't want that to be people's opinion about me too. So I get that. Like I really like him. I don't like the guy. I just don't want to be like in the middle, boring.
Right.
It's like mild sauce. What's the point of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been wanting to stay at the hotel. Claire, make it happen. That's a vid,
Do
and not
it.
just for the
And then
content. I
invite
think
your
he-
good friend JBS.
yeah, and listen, even if you don't film it, I think you'd have a good time. But if you filmed it and he did his Sands thing on that place, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
We're
The
down a few
rooms
rabbit
alone,
holes,
like
guys.
him reviewing, doing the only hotel room he'd probably ever review would be that one, and it would be highly entertaining.
Yeah.
I've watched boring family vacationer vloggers do it, and they've done well enough to make me want to take my kid. I think she'd get a kick
Tim
out
Tracker's not boring.
of it. He's gotten boring to me.
But he has a kid now, which is makes me like him to some degree, and I can put that on. That's where there's too many rabbit holes we've gone down. I've got
So many.
Disney
God,
vlogger
dude, you want to do an
story.
hour on Tracker? We could do that. No, I'm kidding. But I'm mixed, dude. I'd rather talk to you maybe on the sidebar on that of what's happened there. But
Sure.
I like Tim, and I'll leave it at that. I really like Tim, and I'll leave it at that. And his
I get
kid, I
that.
like his kid. I mean, you can't not like his kid.
My kid's like his kid. The funny thing is, when we were in Disney this last weekend,
Well, Jackson.
I ran into Disney live streamers that I watch all the
Ooh.
time at home. I was so excited. I like literally in my living room if I'm doing dishes or something, like I'll put on it's Resort TV 1 is the channel name, not to call out other people. I'll put them on in the background on my TV and just mute them, and they'll just be at Disney World for like 7 hours a day,
Yeah, it makes
waiting
me
in lines
happy.
and everything.
Yeah.
And like I just love seeing the environments, and like we were there that a couple weekends ago, and like I was like, oh, that's the couple of people from the thing, and Sans was like, oh, go say hi. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But then like we walked past them at one time, and I pulled up their stream real quick, and I'm like, there's me on their stream. And then like we ran into the dude later in like the Space Mountain gift shop, and I like said hey to him and chatted with him or whatever, and I was like, that was so cool. They got like 150,000 subscribers. Like they're pretty big in the Disney live streaming game.
You watch
but I was
Fresh
so
Baked?
excited. I feel like I've seen some of their stuff.
Yeah. David, he's one of the bigger Disneyland dudes. He's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like just running into him, and then we became buds anyway. But like he's super awesome. Yeah, it's funny. We have so much in common. It's insane. Yeah, I watch him, and probably talk about who else we watch. But no, I love Tim Tracker. I prefer old school Tim Tracker, like
Of
Daily
course.
Woo. Love Daily
Yeah,
Woo,
dude's
even
cool.
outside of Disney. He's going through some things right now, but you can see he's kind of getting back into it. So
It seems like he is, right?
yeah, Michael K.
So-
Are you a Michael K. guy?
I don't feel like I follow that dude.
Oh, okay, don't. It's getting
I
interesting.
will now.
Yeah, you have to. You got to see. He's polarized. He's one of the polarizing. Kyle Palo. Do you watch that?
You've gone too deep.
All right.
What's it, Tomorrowland something? No.
Paging Mr. Morrow.
Yeah, that dude. He seems
You like him?
nice.
Yeah, he's very cool.
He seems nice. I don't know if I like him. I'm not gonna go so far as to say that I like him. I'm so curious to see what number 3 is on the hot list.
I was just about to say that. Like, so are we ever gonna get there?
Sidebar.
Oh,
This
you
is
put
gonna
this
be-
at number 3?
What?
By the way, Josh, we talked about clipping stuff out. I don't know if we can just do this hot list now. I'm like, we need little 10-minute chunks of this long.
You do whatever you want.
All right.
I wish I had some,
This is the
but I
state in
don't.
which these sets have stayed for me. I haven't opened them yet.
I'm giving it number 3 for a reason, Brent.
Let's hear it.
Too hard to get.
Yes, but that's also the
Angry
reason
about-
why it should be number 1. I feel like we have not had this on the hot list yet, but this isn't like I'll go ahead and explain. So this set comes back in stock like 2 or 3 days ago, Sean. Like we get the emails at like
It
well, at
texted
least,
you immediately. 8:00 my time,
Yes.
maybe.
right. Well, yeah, it's about 10:45 my time, whatever. And also the limit was like 2 on these initially. The limit was up to 5.
this time.
I had 5 of them in my cart and was literally just gonna add I think I had a Speed Champ set. And I was gonna add one more thing for the gift with purchase. I go to my cart, bye, they're gone. These things sold out again in like 40 minutes. Like freaking ridiculous. I have a Hoth pack, but I still don't have any of these yet. So
Gosh, how do you feel about this placement due to the hotness of this set right now? I mean, it's a pretty desired item, I think.
Well, let me ask this. Do you guys have local Lego stores within driving distance of yourselves?
yeah, mine has literally only had these on like day 1. They haven't had them. I've been checking pretty religiously.
So I'm in LA and I have one that's 30 minutes or an hour and a half, depending on what's going on that time of day. So for me to zip over, like it's not super easy. It's kind of like a big deal when I go to the Lego store. So I don't have it like I can drop in, get 2 on Tuesday, drop in, get 2 on Friday. You know what I mean? Like it's a little
Right.
more complex. My
Yeah.
dynamic.
I was, for these sets, I was, I had the perspective that I thought a lot of people shared, which was like they were hype initially and they were really hard to find because people want to do army building or whatever. But then like after those first couple of weeks, I assumed everything cooled down, and like every Lego store I've been to, which is only mine in Austin and the one in Disney Springs, like they had them in stock. And I literally I pulled up a photo when I was there March 2nd to see if they were in stock, and they had these and the Hoth battle packs there. I feel like I asked if they had limits at my Lego store, and they said they didn't, but I guess they had
Yeah.
a bunch.
All right.
But I was asking them, and other ex-Lego store employees would know this information better than me. Like I was saying, I was surprised that you guys didn't get that many McLaren Formula One sets in, and they were like, yeah, the way Lego does it, it's like the stores that do better get more stuff. And I was like, really? I thought we did pretty well in Austin. And it's like the region, the slice of the U.S. that we
Yeah.
were in, there's another store that does much better than our Austin store. And they were
Yeah.
like, so we don't get that much in stock. And I remember going through that with like trying to get the Falcon, like the UCS Falcon day 1 and a bunch of other big sets day 1. Like if you want a set for sure, you got to get to our Lego store a half hour early release day at minimum.
Right. Yeah, my
It seems like
Legos.
Austin would have the strangest dynamic, right? Because it's like kind of a big time melting pot. I mean, not
You would
unlike
think we'd be
other
very
major
popular.
cities, but what's that?
You would think would be a very popular, like looking at our store on a big release day, there are lines of hundreds of people in the mall. And like, it's the same bunch of people, which is why I was like, I'm surprised we don't get more, but it's like, I think the store, just whatever per capita, whatever, doesn't sell as much as some other store that they're in the same region as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Go
Lego
ahead,
stores, my Lego store, like, still has it. They've only gotten mini Disney castles on day 1. They've only got these on day 1. And then I'll also check, like, Cincinnati is 2 hours from me and Cleveland's like 3 hours. But I even check those just for the hell of it. And they still haven't had these. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and I
Yeah,
was so pumped too. I had 5 of these in my cart and I was like, yes, let's go. I'm about to get 5 of them. And I'm just wasting time trying to find other stuff to put in my cart to get the gift with purchase. And there they go. They were gone. Not even
LA
on back order.
So the few times I've gone since they've come out just for random stuff, this wasn't like the focus of my visit. They never have them. So I'm just like, they're moving pretty well, in my estimation. And, you know, people are building, and for whatever reason, the other proof in the pudding is, that's my second email notification. The first one I missed. The second one we got, I texted Brent and we were like, it's only a question of how many. Oh, we got to hit the GWP. And he was figuring out his cart and it was gone. And it was 5 minutes?
Dude, it was so quick.
So
It was,
I know there's a little
it
bit of
was-
planned, and that's a whole hour topic too. We're not going to get into, but Josh, I suspect there's a lot of sort of planned sellouts by Lego. I mean, in fact, I know there is. It's factual at this point, meaning, they're marking things as sellouts when they're really not. But I do feel like this one's moving pretty briskly for whatever reason.
yeah.
All right, we'll move on.
We won't even get into why they have the clone trooper from the UCS gunship or anything.
The
Another
pilot,
hour video.
The
Yeah.
pilot that's not a pilot, that's sort of.
No, people just know he's yellow. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Hot list. Here we go. Number 2. Slips from the
thing-
number 1 position, Brent.
Hey, it's been
Or
living on the
Troopers.
list though for the last since it was rumored almost. I feel like
Yeah, since it's rumored.
I got one. That's
Josh, am I
about it,
wrong?
though.
All-time classic?
I got one. I haven't built it yet though.
Just an all-timer for you? I mean,
You are wrong, Sean.
not an all-timer?
It's really early to call that, right?
That's what I do, though. I put myself out there. You know what I
Right.
mean? I feel like this is one of those.
I bought this because I was at the Lego store with number 1 Lego Star Wars YouTube creator Ryan M&R Productions.
You gotta have
Yeah,
it.
but you're a
gotta get
Lego-
at least
we have
one of
a-
those.
Hold on. Another sidebar. We haven't talked about Lego Star Wars, and what's going on with you and Lego Star Wars? Not your content's mixed, but you seem Star Wars focused. You're wearing the shirt. The background says it. You've got a life-size stormtrooper. Are you having a moment with Lego Star Wars right now?
Tupac has a name for one.
Sorry.
And we're roommates. I don't have him, nor does he have me.
Gotcha.
Star Wars has and will always be number 1, but
Okay.
this last wave and the last couple of waves, I think you've picked up on something, but I found it really easy to, like, the new helmets that came out and Jabba's Palace that came out. I was like, I can wait until double VIP and then maybe I'll get those. Or if I happen to wander into a Costco with my sister-in-law who has
Right.
a Costco membership, like, I'll pick those up there. But, like, it's always a matter of, like, I see new stuff being announced by Lego for a given release, a big March release, and then, like, I'll tier list things, and I did this past
Love that, by the way.
release, and, like, Speed Champions hit the top, Thor's hammer hit pretty high up there, like, Thor's my dude, and, like, the Formula One stuff, and all of a sudden the Star Wars stuff just fell a little lower than I expected it to. Like, I'm also a vehicle guy, I'm a ship guy, I'm not a diorama guy, I'm not a playset guy.
You minifigure
like,
guy?
I'm not a minifigure guy.
Me neither. Not really. I'm trying, man.
I'm the
I have
loner.
action figure roots, but these don't do it for me. Like, as far
Yeah,
as
like
action.
I dig a mech. My kids love mechs. I like Marvel mechs, but like, yeah, it was easy to pass on these sets. I will get the helmets. I'm gonna get all 3 of the new ones on double VIP because I have all of the current.
You have
ones
to at
ready
this
to
You
go in
gotta
the collection.
catch them all.
That
But yeah,
Luke's
it was
cool,
just a
man.
little easier to pass on these.
I like the Luke. I mean, if
Luke
nothing
is
else,
cool.
it's different. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm glad. I just felt like you've. I don't know, because if you took a glance at you at your background and didn't listen to anything you said or looked at your titles, it'd be
Most
like,
people
this is a
don't.
Star Wars. This is a Star Wars guy, and then you bust out Butthole Tiger and go all in on that. You know what I mean? Which we
I'm
all
also-
do.
I'm an anomaly on an anomaly, right? Because I also kind of prioritize content, and if I can make a like one good joke out of a set, that's all it takes, and I go, okay, I'll get that set. I'll make that one.
You must have. Butthole Tiger had so many. I mean, that must have been
So many.
I mean,
I had a lot of fun.
you
with
went
that one. And
into
you
dad
guys-
joke. You went to the dad joke ethos with that one.
It was funny. I was literally listening to y'all's episode where you were like, "Oh, we should put a pink flower in a bunch
Yes.
of different Lego sets," and I was like, "I just did that." Like, I was in the process of editing a video where I had just done that exact thing for
Yeah.
that set, and then you guys were talking about that.
I mean,
And then
I wanted to go global with it, Josh, and we ended up just shoving it in the AT-AT's butthole because that was the big set at the time. But I feel like it should have been.
I still haven't finished my AT-AT, so I didn't feature that set.
Wait.
with the
Well,
flower.
ours was
Hold
a
on.
Photoshop, but I'm just
Wait.
saying, in general, everything could have had a butthole slapped on it, and there was
Can we
miles.
can we
there.
can we pause real quick and just ask the question? Do you both really say it at?
I say both. I was saying AT-AT, but I'm getting older, so like I feel like time is of the essence. So now I'm saying it.
So is an ATST an AST?
Someone did not watch my ATST review video from this last wave because that's the entire joke.
I
in
would
the
say
intro.
no, I
Ooh.
haven't seen that one. All right, I gotta check. I
live-
gotta check that one out.
As long as
I
people
live-
don't say Legos, I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? That's my only no at this point.
My whole intro bit in that video was that the stormtrooper with whom I live was
Tupac.
pronouncing it Atsta. And he was like, everyone says Atsta. And I was like, literally no one says Atsta. And he was like, who was actually in the Empire? It's a pretty good joke.
No, I'll check it
I
out
say
for sure.
AT-AT. I say AT-AT.
Josh, you have an unfinished AT-AT? Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, I think I got past the first 2 boxes. He's somewhere.
Boxes.
He's right there on the camera. He's holding an iPad right now.
Nice.
It's funny
like it
because
'cause he can
Claire,
stand on the
last
floor.
I checked, she hasn't finished the Bugle yet, and it's like one of my most favorite sets. I still haven't finished it yet.
I didn't even get that. I'm not a building guy. Can't wait to
Yeah.
see what's number 1. It better be a Speed Champion set.
We'll
I think
see.
it might.
I don't know. Let's see. Boom.
There it is.
And not just in honor of you, Josh, but I feel like, and Brent
appreciate
brought
it.
up a good point. All right, it's in honor of you, but that was part of it. But no, it's been, I don't know, for us personally, and then factually, sales wise. I mean, go find me this. Go find me the Countach, Josh. Go find me 12 of them locally because you can't. I mean, maybe in Austin, but not in LA.
Right.
Can't find this shit anywhere right now.
It did sell out. I think
And-
it did just recently come back in stock on Lego.com.
And-
though, thankfully.
Brent brought up a good point, and I honestly didn't want to clip all the pictures and jam them into my slide, but the whole line, quite frankly, is touch and
Yeah.
go, hard to find.
Yeah.
Even the Lotus is hard. Like all of them are
Lotus is
kind of
surprising.
hard.
Who cares about Lotuses?
Nobody, but the point is, like, you know, the Mercedes 2-pack. You can look. I know where to get all these.
I like the
but not all
printed
of them-
pieces on it.
Not all of them are readily available.
Yeah, that rear windshield piece looks
Right.
great.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
3 sets sold out March 1st. And I was at what I think is the biggest Lego
Yeah,
store.
Ninja. Is Ninja? Are you LA also? Well, you're in Cali. Where is Ninja?
He's in that general area. I know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ninja, you know what I'm talking about. You can't just roll up and get the whole wave somewhere in LA. Maybe Lego
would-
store.
I think the Disney Springs Lego store is the biggest and arguably the best stocked. And we were there opening day when it first opened. And I saw
Yeah.
so many people holding the McLaren F1 Technic set and then also grabbing the Mercedes Formula One set and then the Lamborghini Countach. Like those 3 were the 3 that were sold out or back ordered first on Lego.com.
Yeah.
I landed in Austin the night of March 1st, and I called my Lego store and I was like, I can make it there. Do you have any more McLarens in stock? And they were like, we don't, but we'll get more tomorrow. And so I woke up March 2nd and went to my Austin Lego store and got the McLaren because it was too big to fit in a suitcase when I was in Florida. But like those 3 sets are the ones that sold out. Everyone loves a Countach, I guess, apparently.
Dude, I'm in love with the building techniques on how they achieve the taillights. It's so good. It's just
I love the
chef's
bit
kiss.
you did today, Josh. Sorry for blowing you up, dude. But the Countach thing, like most kids had pictures on the wall of this. Like I had pictures of other things.
heard
And what's so funny is I know what you're alluding to, but there is a red Countach, like legendary Walmart poster. You know, I'm an 80s kid. But it was like the red Countach with girls in bikinis or whatever. It was like the ultimate 2-in-1 of that whole situation. And so, yeah, I mean, like it had relevance, and then it was like, oh, this is the hard one to find. All right, I kind of want to get into this. Oh, my Target has one. Let me do pick up on
Curbside.
that.
Yeah.
Curbside.
I know, 'cause I was telling- Well, I was
And,
telling Sean
so-
how I was.
Most of the time, they don't. When there's one left, they don't have it. But surprisingly, I got the confirmation, and I'm like, all right, I'll swing through, take my 5% off, which is equal to VIP. By the way, people overblow that.
Yeah, I got that red card.
I messed up and should have grabbed mine when I was at the Lego store when I got
See,
my.
Shy overpaid. He paid $1,000 probably, or whatever he paid all in for his trip there to get this. So
Right.
Yeah, he was with me. We were waiting at the double doors for them to bring more Countaches out.
You know
There
what?
you go.
You know what set it off for me though? Like I was gonna get it, but then I saw the red leather interior or whatever. I'm like, all right, that's kind of fire. Because I
Yeah.
wish it was red, but I guess they've already made enough red Lambos.
It has to be a Ferrari to be red.
I was gonna say they got a lot of
Champions
red
League.
Ferraris.
Good point.
So, but yeah, I messed up and didn't grab one when I was at the Lego store on March 1st. I was like, oh, you know what? Like, there's a gift with purchase coming out in a couple days. I'll grab it then. And of course, it sold out on .com.
That's why I went to the Lego store March 3rd also.
Yeah.
We didn't do a pickups this week, but like I was in Florida for the first, so I could only buy so much.
No, we're gonna
Put
do
in my
it.
Suitcase.
We'll do
All
that
right,
and we'll
we're
bring it
going
home,
overtime.
Josh. We'll have you back. I know we're keeping you late, so we'll do this week's pickups. Let's
I
get
only,
into
I
it.
only I only have one thing, so I'll be quick.
It's too long.
All
Of
right.
this. You guys go first. I'll be right back.
All right. So mine, I only have one thing, but I had to get, and I already have this set, but I found it on a pretty screaming deal. But we got the Audi Sport Quattro. Speaking of speed
Nice.
champs, and $13, $13. So I just had to. I was
And
walking
that guy
down.
is like what 40 or 50 right now, right?
Oh yeah,
In
yeah.
the
It's been,
resale?
yeah, it's been retired. It's been retired for quite a bit. The GTR is up there too, but yeah, I had to. I mean, $13 for an 8 wide Speed Champs car. I mean, I had to. I mean, I literally I built one, reviewed it, gave it to my buddy to display over at his place, AJ, and then I bought another one, and then I opened it on our last podcast. I think you were away doing some daddy duties, and I was like, you know what? How many stickers is in this thing? And I opened it just to check the sticker count.
It's
But
gnarly.
yeah, it is. It's like 20 something, but pretty cool. I mean, for third.
Is that
Right.
an eight stud? Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. 13 bucks.
That one's
Steal.
cool. It's got a lot of flavor.
Oh yeah.
So mine's
got
fast
what,
too.
Like eight Dark Trooper battle packs or Dark Trooper attacks.
So I grabbed another 3 of those. Take my word for it.
Ah, jealous.
No, you're right. I have 8 total. So did I do 2 the other day? I have 8 total. I forget. But the only other thing I grabbed this week, and I told you about it, I believe, is I grabbed a few of the Carnage
Yeah.
heads because they're not helmets. I grabbed 2 of those from Target
Right.
because the end is near on that, and I want to be able to have all the helmets if I want. So now the only thing I'm
Right.
missing is Venom. Of all the helmets or heads I've ever made, all I'm missing
Right.
is Venom and the Batman. I believe it's 89 because I already have the
Yeah.
66. So I'm only missing like 2 total helmets. So I think I'm just gonna keep rolling with those. I'll grab those 2 at some
Yeah.
point. But the Carnage, I'm gonna make one and then build one and
Right.
then keep one as trade bait. I think
The other Batman head or mask or helmet, whatever, it's from the animated series.
cowl. Are they gonna make that?
Cowl. Yes. No, it is from the animated series.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
I skipped those.
Josh, I didn't know if you heard, but I got one of these bad boys for $13.
I was listening. You talking
pretty
about
happy.
stickers made
It's
me
pretty
think
happy.
about the McLaren stickers, and literally there were.
Dude, I
3
saw that. I saw that on
sticker
dude.
sheets.
That is
McLaren
insane. I saw the wheel
I
stickers.
don't remember
like those.
when you showed me that, Josh, or was it maybe it was a community post, or you were like, oh, because
That
one
might
of
have
them
been
was
a
bent.
Post this entire set is stickers. The wheels are round stickers, which you guys have said you hate. I hate.
Right.
It's a sponsor, like all the sponsorships and stuff. Those are all stickers, right? And so like the entire
That's
exterior
fine,
of
I
this
guess,
thing
but-
is covered in stick. It's not bad because the set is huge. It's 2 feet long. Like
Yeah.
Did you
Set
know that these
substantial.
were going to be printed, the wheels on this, or do you think stickers when you first saw it?
I didn't know about the wheels. I had heard about the headlights.
Yeah.
Which is why
That's disappointing, though. They did that to your tires. I was so mad about that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm missing a headlight on this. I
That's
never am missing pieces, and I'm missing a headlight piece. One of the new printed headlights for the.
I love that
Mercedes.
you did the full review and almost no sold the fact that wasn't in there till later in the review. It's pretty
Right.
There's a 10-minute unlisted video where I talk about that missing headlight. that
Can
I
you Can you go all wallflowers and put that out, or
It's unlisted. I'll send you a link. I decided I didn't like it.
I want to see it,
So
dude.
I got
I
rid of
won't.
it.
I won't repost unless you authorize.
It's a 10-minute setup for a 1 second joke, which is my entire brand, but it's again off topic. But the fact that I was getting new subscribers and new attention from these like other Lego YouTube channels,
Dude,
They
Ninja with
didn't,
the tip here. Look at that. Sorry, that's pretty cool.
Venom
Venom in
Covered
the 89.
Nightmare
See, it is the
style
89.
Batman.
It's not the animated series, Brent. I think that's the 89 Cal. Sorry.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay, I thought it was.
I'm an
animated.
89 guy. I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say you look like an 89 guy, but
I am. Born in 79. I was the ripe age of 10 when Keaton rocked my world, and he's still the best Batman of all times, and I'm not going to hear otherwise. But anyway.
I like Keaton Batman. I like Clooney Batman. It's a whole different. I'm seeing Batman, the new Batman tomorrow. I'm so excited.
It's so good. It's so.
Have you
good.
bought any of the sets, and do you think that's going to make you want to buy the set?
It makes me
I
want to
have
buy
bought-
more.
I have bought 4 of the sets, and it has made me so much more excited for this new movie. I like vehicles, right? And so I got obviously the micro new Batmobile. I got the brick built small, basically 8 wide Batmobile. It's basically a Speed Champions Batmobile.
Right.
I got the $100 Technic Batmobile, which is
Love that.
very cool. 2
That's my
light
favorite
ups in
out
that
of
thing.
all of them.
It's so cool. And then I got the 2 motorcycles just because why not? They're cool. And because I built those 3 different Batmobiles, I was like, I'm in it for this Pattinson Batman. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched those trailers because I don't care about that movie. But like, now I'm so excited to see that movie tomorrow.
Dude, it's.
Oh yeah, and you don't
awesome.
like buildings, so the cave. Is there a chance we'll get a cave out of you on that one, or no?
No, like I saw the cave and I knew it was out last year or whatever. I was like, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
So you can still be JBS if you change your name to Josh Buys Stuff. You know,
I have made haul videos where on my
where you're Josh
screen-
Buys Stuff.
on the
You're not
screen
gonna
behind me,
out-clever
it'll say
Josh. He's already
it'll
thought of
say
it,
Josh
Tim.
buys stuff. Yeah, you can go to joshbuysstuff.com to get some affiliate links for some of my Lego sets.
There you go.
That's not a parody. That's a real website. I'm a web developer by trade.
Nice.
He's already got
So
that set up, dude. Brent, any other topics you want to cover?
I mean,
Josh, are you good on
for-
time? Are you good to hang? Are you ready to roll, or what's the deal?
It's 1 a.m. here, man. What's the worst that's gonna happen at this point? My kids are probably already both in my bed when I.
They're
go to
already
bed.
also planning on waking you up at 5:30, like mine. So that'll be good.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. My, I don't know. I mean, the only other thing I really want to cover that's interesting to me. Well, I guess there's 2, but the 90th anniversary castle for
The
$350 should be pretty interesting to say the least. I think some people were underwhelmed by the
He's gonna break out the
$100
brick
one.
link. I know it. Boom. Yeah.
Ooh,
No,
Look at
because
that.
pickups. I got back from my Florida trip, and
Oh yeah, we
well,
need your
the new-
pickups.
We don't have time for the pickups today. Pickups
Speed round.
from
Go.
The entire
Oh, well, then
March
You can do
wave.
verbals, Josh. You don't have to do showsies. Mine's
I
on
don't.
order. You can take my word for it on my Carnage heads. But
Let's see. I bought all the new Speed Champions. I bought 1 Dark Trooper
Check.
pack. I got
Good.
Thor's hammer. I
Josh
got 2
buys
of
stuff.
the Breaklink designer programs. I got the Castle and the Pursuit of Flight set.
I'm waiting on my boat, by the way. Should I be concerned? My boat still hasn't arrived from that one.
Your Forrest Gump shrimp boat.
Yeah.
I mean, mine came in March, and that's when they said was the earliest they'd arrive.
You got the boat?
No, but my other Brinklake sets, they just
Oh,
came
okay.
like
Yeah.
a week or 2 ago. I was also playing this Lego coin game where I needed to make 5 Lego orders in
Right.
like
Yeah.
a short period of time, and then I was
I
like,
hope you got
"Oh, no,
refunded on all your shipping.
I didn't. I was like, I know I could call
could've.
them stuff.
right?
Yeah,
I
just
did-
give them a
I-
call. If you have an hour to burn, just do it.
I don't. That's more effort
All
than
right.
I'm willing to put in. So I
Right.
was like,
Right.
I just put in 5. I bought a bunch of brown bricks because I have a dream of building a Nautilus someday out of brown. And I got 1 coin with that. I got like 2 or 3 other random sets on the way that I forget what I built, which makes me sound very spoiled. That I realize. I already say Thor's hammer. I got Thor's hammer.
Yep.
Probably.
What are your
some
thoughts on
other
that?
3-in-1s.
Quick
I'm so
style.
excited. I'm so excited.
Thor's hammer. You don't feel like it lacks detail? Josh, I know you're a fanboy, but can you be honest and say? And I'm actually asking for stickers on that.
It absolutely lacks detail. I bought this like crappy like plastic Hasbro whatever Thor's hammer years and years ago, and it's plastic.
Yeah.
But I took my own handle and like I added raised bevel details and a little bit of weathering and stuff, and a leather strap and like a bunch of crappy details. It broke in half, which is very un-Mjolnir-esque of it to do. But it does lack detail because the real thing is supposed to have like a bunch of like Norse-looking filigree stuff, and it's just a big smooth brick. But I have some embarrassing photographs of myself as Thor with blonde dyed hair when it was a little bit longer, but not as long as it should have been, which you might see in that review video. So I have a lot of personal attachment to the Thor character. So that was a buy for me no matter what. I never had a choice.
I'm getting
Yeah,
it, by the way. I
Right,
often
I am
discuss
too.
my beefs with sets, right, Brent?
Yeah,
Brent and I will bury a set on the show and in private text, and be like,
this is actually fire.
I think the throne room is one of them, you know, or
What's it,
Moba's throne.
$100 for the hammer? That's not terrible.
No. And that was actually, Brent, I just realized that was the number one set last week, and it didn't even make the list. And we
Right?
put it as number one because,
How the mighty
again,
have
I go by my little bit of sales data. That thing was nowhere to be found. You know, it was a Target exclusive too, and at least nowhere in the greater LA area had them in stock. So I was like, people kind of like this, and you know, Lego YouTubers were talking about it. It's kind of a little bit of a combo on that, whether it was
Yeah.
factually the number one set or not. But did you do any of the custom stuff when you were at Springs, or you didn't have time, or it wasn't open? Like, do you ever do the custom minifigure station thing? I did one.
We did the custom minifigure thing in September when I was in LA at the Disneyland Disney
Yeah.
Springs. So I made my own guy. He's somewhere on the shelves behind me. That was
Yeah.
fun. Sans did it this last trip. He tried to make a Yoda looking minifigure, and the browns turned out really orange. Not his fault.
Yeah. Did they crack? I mean, was it?
I mean, no, it's just literally it tried to print brown colors on I assume white torso, and it just came out a very bright orange looking color.
Nice, nice poopy orange.
Yeah.
All right, so that's weekly pickups. I mean, you had a hellacious week. You a Jurassic guy at all, or no?
Man, I'll tell you, I have like a couple of the big molded dinosaurs, and I want them so bad. Like I love the theme. I think
Rabbit
we were
hole.
talking about when you were doing dad stuff, like the new diorama one. That's a day one for me, 100%. But like even the new dinosaur sets, like
They're
it's
awesome.
hard not to get those. Arguably, just for my kid, be like, look, here's those new dinosaurs. And even my 2.5-year-old, he loves dinosaurs. Like he wants to be a T-Rex like 90% of the time. I'm parenting a T-Rex, not a 2-year-old.
90%, exactly. 90%.
Yeah. And so like he loves the molded dinosaurs, and so does my 4.5-year-old. So I want them kind of selfishly. And also I bought the Carnotaurus set again because of the dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom, because it features the Carnotaurus as the quote unquote antagonist, I guess you could call it.
Is that from the Camp Cretaceous line?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I feel like all of the new sets are
Yeah, they are.
Technically
That's the
Camp
one with like
Cretaceous?
the yeah, they are. But is that it's the one with the red and tan? Like it's got
yeah, he's got like a
6
scar on
wheels.
his eye or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
truck came with it. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
were looking at those sets a couple weeks ago, and like
Yeah,
I agree
I-
with everything you guys said. They all look, the dinosaurs look great, and the builds look great too.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I haven't pulled the trigger on that boat. I guess I'm just waiting for it to hit 60, dude. I just feel like it's just too stiff, right?
The Baronax boat.
I
There
don't
was a
I don't
boat
like
in
the
the last
dino
wave that was
number one.
expensive.
It's the it's the one that's the current wave. It's part of the Camp Cretaceous thing.
Mhm.
I've had it in my literal cart and my digital cart and my you know what I mean? Like I just haven't I don't know. I feel like I need it to be at least 60 and then I'll feel better. It's just that
They're all
80
so
or whatever.
overpriced. It's hard to justify.
I know, but damn, those
But
dinos are awesome.
They're coming out like mid-April, and I don't think there's a lot else releasing at the same time, at least that we know of so far. Who knows?
So you
They could
might
drop
clear your
the
400 to
DeLorean.
get the whole yeah.
I don't know. They could put out the new DeLorean in April too, for all we know. So I
Mm,
don't want to
yeah,
speak too soon.
yeah, I wanted to bring that up too. I mean, we won't because we're running low on time. But
Is
I
that
hope
is
it's-
that we've said that 80 times.
Yeah.
That's 200. You feel like it's going to be an Ecto 1 type of deal?
I think
That's
it's gonna be
still
170, but yeah, kind of an Ecto
It's
one
back.
kind of.
It's
deal.
Back to the Future DeLorean. It's not
Yeah.
just
No,
a
I know.
regular
So you
DeLorean.
think it'll be 170, 200, like one of those type of
Yeah.
I
size?
think so. I
That's
think they're going
same-
for the same scale.
How funny would it be if it was just a creator expert DeLorean and it wasn't Back to the Future?
The thing is,
It's a
Lego
normal
is-
DeLorean.
I have a video idea. I haven't done it because I'm lazy, but like Lego waits for tie-ins to actually release stuff, right? Like Mario Day, they released a bunch of Mario stuff. Like they're the Countach is because there's a new Countach coming out that's modernized. The DeLorean, there's a fully electric DeLorean that's been all but announced and teased, but there's a new DeLorean coming out in the next couple of years. And like it makes sense to come out with a DeLorean Lego set now. Same with Ghostbusters, there was a new movie coming out, so it made sense to make the new
Right.
Ecto 1 or whatever.
Did you guys see
This
that?
thing
I
we're
still
getting.
haven't done it. Is it on rental yet? I need to see that or whatever.
The Ghostbusters?
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it either. Mm-mm.
So good. If you liked Ghostbusters when you were younger, they actually did the
Love it.
nostalgia thing.
I
pretty
didn't like
well.
the girl one and not because I'm a big whatever.
This
I
one
just
was,
didn't like it.
Forget about that one. This one was better.
Paul Rudd, right?
Paul Rudd is in it less than I expected him to be, which was actually okay.
Yeah, we're all kind of Paul Rudded out. Yeah.
I like Paul Rudd.
I'm never Paul Rudded out. I'll have that on record. I can never get enough of Paul Rudd. I love that dude.
I love him in Friends. I was like, when I watched Friends through for the first time, I was like, oh my god,
That's your Rudd reference?
that was my well, yeah, the one that I just made.
I love it. Brent just discovered Friends like what, a year and a half ago?
Dude, I love it,
They
I
got
love
some
it.
Lego sets from that too, if you like it.
dude. I know. I got
There
two
it
of the.
is.
I got two of
You even
these.
got the mug, dude.
I got the apartments. Ooh yeah, the mug is dope. That's why I bought a second Central Perk because I got the.
Brent, do you still have the Lego sausage nearby, like within arm's reach, like you always do?
I keep that thing on me. God damn it, Bobby.
It's just insane.
They see me selling
All right,
sausages and
let's
now
do an
they're trying to
experiment. Josh, call something out and see if he has it within arm's reach.
kill- Ooh, I don't know about that.
Like a Lego,
Lego.
thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Well, not
anything.
like not an actual machine gun, but maybe he has a blaster.
I mean, we all have blasters within arm's reach, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any Star Wars vehicles within arm's reach? Microfighters?
Boom.
There it is. That was my favorite because it's all.
I have Brent's
stormtroopers.
favorite CMF of all time within arm's reach.
Yes,
That one's
sir.
good too. I collected all those. I was glad for that.
Yes, sir. Hold on. I'm gonna show. I want to show off the coolest Lego thing I have near me because I'm in love with these.
Oh, you're about
It's
to get
uncanny,
judged.
Josh. Like, call seriously. You already 1 for 1. Call something else out. It's
Oh, I've seen those in previous episodes. You guys think I don't do my research, but I've been watching old episodes.
Lego shoes.
And
Donovan
those are in-
Mitchell's.
Those are in your size.
Oh yeah, but I'm probably never gonna wear them.
When they first
That's-
came out, they didn't make those for adults.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Josh. Do
yeah.
you
a
like
lot of
this?
them.
So now that you've been on, right? It's been amazing. As someone who's watched the shows and now that you've been on, do you like the free flow thing or would you prefer more structure? I wrestle with it. I feel like both are good and have a place. And there's not like a million, I don't think. Shout out to all the other podcasts, but there's not like a million other streamy interview shows. What do you prefer?
It's really hard to say because the entire time, well, everything that I watched, not in research, but like I've been on a building binge here with all the new sets. And
Yeah,
I
it's
put stuff
background
on-
noise, whatever.
Yeah, and so I've been listening and watching to like all the previous episodes of this, and I'm like, man, I love that format, but maybe the format is here in case like it's not just an interview with a guest, and like I
Right.
clearly just go off too much, and so maybe it was fine that there was no format this time, but like. I'm also just happy to come on and chat about new Lego sets, and I'm sure most Lego fans
Yeah,
are.
true.
Well, maybe it just
Yeah.
depends on the guest. Like I literally like going into the Rich
That's
Boy
true.
J thing. Like I've followed Rich Boy J for so long that I wanted to get like really like nerd interview on him. But
Yeah.
I've also kind of thought about like maybe that's a separate thing. Like I don't think we don't ever really like interview people like like I try to have like a list of like, oh, let's have 3 basic questions we ask each guest, but I haven't even asked you those yet. A couple of them you've already answered without me asking, but like basic things. But yeah, I think it just depends on the guest. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we could be more structured on one or not on the other, depending on who we got. So
No, I
And
think
so-
Josh nailed it. I think if it needs it and you can just sense that it's not a good time, like I hope everyone's having a good time, and I can usually sense when people aren't. That's when you bring out the structure, so to
Yeah,
speak.
then
But
talk about new Lego sets.
yeah, and then we do have our staples though, and I'm glad you were looking forward to like the hot list and all that stuff. Like we have a couple and pickups, weekly pickups. I mean, that's, you know, those are 2 things we try to hit, but like the rest, I don't know. We try to do like rumor roundups and all that. I think we get hardcore, Brent, around set talk when it's like a March 1st release. That was
right.
And Josh, I don't know if you heard that take, but I felt like March 1st was
Better
way
than Jan?
hotter than Jan 1st. Jan 1st was like, it was kind of a letdown for me this year. I don't know.
You didn't have these on Jan 1st.
We didn't have those on March 1st either. Buzz and Woody didn't come into stock until now.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't
All
know.
right, not Buzz and Woody and Bo Peep weren't in stock initially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One was before the other.
I was looking forward more to March than I was
Yeah.
January, but January still had some good stuff. February was the sleeper. I went to my Lego store in February, got there my usual couple minutes early, and there was 2 people in line in front of me, and one of them was Emily from
Emily?
Emmasaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking out for other sets. Like,
Do you always
it
run
was-
into her at the store? I mean, I know I saw you guys in a vid or 2 in the lineups there. Do you run into
Yeah,
her
we're
a lot or
always-
not as much?
we have a handful of times, but it's like if there's a big release day, there's the same bunch of people that are at the front of the line at the Lego store every release day. There's also like the local Texas Lug is kind of centered in Austin, and so like I know all those people at this point. A lot of them also make content and stuff. Emily's like the one that people recognize, but it's all the same people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you-
Selena was asking how this compares to like a Cali Brick Click or like a London Calling. Cali Brick Click is also obviously a podcast, but it more is interview style. In my experience, I break the podcast the couple times that I've been on where it's just like we're too much of friends at this point. Like we know each other
Yeah.
too well. And so it just evolves into like chatting about whatever, which kind of happened here also. Sorry,
Right.
we're all now friends.
Yep. No, that's what
so
what we go for, dude. I think that's more
Yeah.
important. It's like if you want the serious, like, when did you get your start? When was your dark age? And I know that stuff is important too, but I don't know. Like for me, I like analyzing the show live on air, but like no, I think that it just I didn't even plan on asking you about the Avengers whatever thing. I really didn't. But then I was like, I want your take on it because I was just DMing with Shy about it, and he was giving me a little peek behind the curtains. And for me, like as a fan and now a friend, or you know whatever, it's cool to, you know, people want to know about the behind the scenes shit. We just do. There's a natural, right? We always it's spoilers, rumors, why'd this really happen, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, like everybody can give their takes on sets and whatnot. I don't know.
Right.
Just try to do something a little different.
Ninja said that Josh is the official 4th host.
But
There it
that's
is.
the
Yeah.
problem. That's why like I shouldn't be a guest. And Ninja, you can pass this on to the other Cali Brick Click and other people. I shouldn't be a guest on Cali Brick Click because it kind of ceases to be entertaining, and it's just like I just want to hang out with my friends and chat about like shoot the breeze, and maybe that
I
can
think
be
it's more
entertaining to
interesting.
some degree.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of podcast I like too, but like you got to have some structure and format. And
Right.
be like, let's at least talk about new Lego sets that are dropping.
Right.
But like that was my whole like getting part of the reason for like making a Lego channel. And maybe this is a good point to like come to a head here. Like part of the reason why I was like I want to make a Lego channel was to kind of legitimize myself in the space, so that like maybe then I would be invited to chat with other people and stuff. And then like, not that I was just trying to become close to these people, but as I've gotten older, and I'm in my mid 30s at this point, like I'm so fascinated by like how everyone else has come into this space and what other people do with their day to day and how other people treat Lego in their lives and how they make content about it. And like making a legitimate Lego channel kind of legitimized me enough to just like become friends with these people and just ask them questions. And now I can like see what Ryan does in a day-to-day life with a channel of, I don't know, almost 500,000 subscribers. And
Right.
like, it's just fascinating to me to be like, how does this dude tick? Like, what's this dude about? And then I meet him and I'm like, never mind. This dude's ridiculous. He's a joke. Not a joke. Like, he's legit. He's real. He's the real deal. But like, we're all just people
Normal
having fun
dudes.
in the same. Yeah, we're all just dudes having fun in the same space,
Right.
like making fun of each other, and like that's a great like level playing field to discover at this point in the game.
That is a great observation. That's been my experience. Like, so I have an uncle. I mentioned family in Chicago real quick. He owned and still owns a lot of like the hottest, clubs and bars and restaurants there. Super successful guy. I was 18 and this was in the height of Bulls fever, when the Bulls were just wrecking everyone. And I went to hang out with him as I was known to do. He would just fly me up and show me a great time. And he's like, all right, so tonight we're going to go here, here, here. And then around 1 a.m., we're going to hang out with Robin for a few hours and da-da-da. Like, it was nothing to him. And yeah, he has it like that. I'm an 18-year-old kid. I'm in high school figuring out everything. And after that night, it really changed me because I was like, whoa, Dennis Rodman? He's like, yeah, he goes to Crowbar all the time. This is, I'm like, no, the Dennis Rodman. Like, we're just going to hang out with him. I didn't even know how to hang out with people my age, and it taught me a lot. And yeah, like he got me loaded up and we drank a bunch of lemon drops and whatever. But I was like, dude, how do I talk to him? I don't know what to do. Like, how do you act around? I've never been around anyone famous or whatever. Even again, the scale of famous Rodman to Lego YouTube, whatever.
That's a big
And he's like,
difference.
well, I know, but it's not. It really isn't. And that's what I'm wanting to tell you is like, he's like, they're all dudes. They all the whole put your pants on one leg at a time thing. It's so true, man. People just want to be like talked to like regular dudes, And so that night taught me a lot. And every other time I've had an interaction with them, like they'd rather just talk about normal shit like you'd want to talk about. They just happen to be very good or very whatever for a particular reason, whether it's making videos or playing a sport. So,
All right.
and that's kind of been our approach. And yeah, like for me, when you're really into something, you go way down the rabbit hole. And I happen to love Lego and YouTube. It sounds like because we're already, crossing streams on talking about Disney vloggers. It's like that. This is the only thing I watch is I don't even watch shows anymore, dude. I'll watch like big movies or whatever. But
Yeah, I watch TV.
I watch YouTube. I mean, that's what I watch. And so it's been really cool to find out. That's why I kind of opened with asking you about like The Mask and do they have a different kind of vibe? 9 times out of 10, they're regular dudes and dudettes, and
Yeah.
just want to be approached and talked to like that, and it's fine. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to go big soapbox on that, but like I don't know, it's just what I've found. And it's helped in life to run into Rodman at 18. It was the wildest night of my life. That's a 2-hour story, but yeah,
Come to
it was
Chicago. You can
anything
see
but
us all
a
yourself.
dude that puts his pants on in one leg at a time.
No, that dude. I don't want to get into it. I saw that documentary though.
Oh yeah, no, he had a run. And what's his name from Smashing Pumpkin? Corgan showed up that night too. It was a double dip for me. It was insane. I was like, oh, famous people. All right, they're normal. I get it. Yeah. All right. So we've attempted to do the go home. Josh, you're what is he? 40 minutes out from breaking the record, Brent?
Oh, dude, I don't
I
know.
can't do another 40.
What's that?
I said I can't do another 40.
I know. I'm
You're saying
messing
we're
with you.
past it?
No, yeah.
I know. I'm messing with you. One more time. Any closing stuff, Josh? People are here that know who you are. I hate to do any plug stuff, but you've already teased some good videos. So if people have been listening, maybe we can do something with this unreleased video. Josh, I'm going to watch this thing.
You can watch it. It's not. It was fun for me to make, but it's some people loved it and some people didn't. Like I got a message from Ryan right after that, and he was like, "Why'd you unlist that video?" And I was like, "I didn't like it." And he was like, "It was gold." And I was like, not to new people, not to people who know who I am would appreciate it. People who don't wouldn't. It's still around there. The link is out there or whatever. But I don't like to plug myself, but I will. I always have more ideas than I do time to actually make videos. Tomorrow there will probably be a short video about a Lego Vespa. The current video that I am making is my review of the big Technic McLaren, which hopefully will come out opportunely around the same time that the new Formula One season starts. So sometime early next week, that'll be a big one. And then we'll just see. I'll make a Dark Trooper review probably, and then knock out some other little Speed Champions reviews, and see what else I feel like doing. And then come April, we're back into new releases again, right? And we do this all over again.
Yep. The chase never stops. It's always on. It's always on to the next thing.
Yep.
Like they always talk about that with cell phones. Like, oh, the Samsung, the next best thing. It's like, dude, the next best thing, that should be the Lego model, not the best. Only the best is good enough. It should be Lego, the next best thing.
I got to do the Thor's Hammer review too. I didn't even build that.
Oh, that's right. I want to see if you actually like doctor that thing at the end of the day, but we'll see. Because you have a track record. You've just proven that. So, it could be.
Somebody should just take it outside and actually just like bang on shit with it and like weather it that way and like actually like rough it up, see what happens. I'm sure somebody will.
Brent, any closing thoughts before we roll for tonight?
I don't think so. I really hope the May the 4th promo this year is a gold C3PO though.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that.
I hope it is. Well, when the time comes and it gets revealed, we'll discuss more down the line. I hope it is a gift with purchase and not like included in the land speeder. So maybe you could just like, oh, if you haven't bought the AT-AT yet, that's when you could do it. I don't know. We'll see. Cross that bridge when we get there.
That's a good point.
There you go. Well, Josh, I hope you had fun, dude. We'd love to have you back. And it's not just something we're saying. We'd love to have you back on sometime. We'll figure out a time if you're open to it, sir. And this has been... Josh, do you have glasses? You did. You were prepared.
I threw them across the room.
That's true.
Emphasize it earlier in the bit. I don't know where they are.
Looking good, Brent. Oh, he's got more. There you go.
These are blue blockers.
For Josh from Josh Build Stuff, for Brent from Brent's Bricks, I am, of course, Sean the Right Way. And this little ditty right here, this little fun time, group of friends hanging, has been a couple of Brickheads.
Thanks to my friends for coming out.
Thank you so much to Josh's friends for coming out. And our friends too, right? Go.
And my new friends who I've made tonight.
We'll see you all next week.
Peace. Episode 30. I don't even think we addressed it.
Dude,
This is
30.
episode
Yeah,
30,
Josh, we
but
didn't
this
put
is
ourselves
episode
over enough for that.
30.
30. Nobody
Wow.
does 30 of anything, right?
Well, the Kelly
Ooh.
Burr click did.
Brent, do the arms, Brent.
I don't know what you want me to do.
I don't mean
but-
in our space, Josh. I mean the consistency here has been pretty good.
Is Shy on next week? You said Shy's on next week?
Shy's on next week, man. How do you
That's
follow
exciting.
Josh? How do you follow Josh? You follow him with Shy.
With Shy is the way you follow Josh. That's a good.
That's
a
how
good
you do it. See you next week, guys. Peace.